And we are live. Yep, I'm in the right spot. Hello, everybody. I'm Scott Coventry, and this is ZealZaddy. I'm the DM and storyteller of Mysts of Elixia, our D&D 5e campaign. We run on Saturday nights at 8:30. This is Season 1, Episode 20, the Elixia Part 2. I should turn down my own monitoring of my stream since we'll get an echo all night. Boy, after last week's tech problems, everything now has me on edge. So last week we had tech problems that ran us into about an hour before we could say we couldn't run. So they've been resolved. Please tell us that you can hear everybody talking when I put them on. So you can follow us here on Twitch. Just go down and give us the follow. Hit the bell to get notified when we go live. You can also follow us at ZealZaddy at YouTube, Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And if you go down to the About section below, you can click on the button for our Discord, and you can join us there when we go to hang out. Let's get to the players. They're way more important than all this other stuff. All right. Let's start with Brandon. Let's let him introduce himself first. I don't think he's gone first in a while, have you?
Since he got a brand new haircut, it's important.
And he has a new haircut.
Wait.
I shaved
And
my
they
head.
hit Didn't answer from the chat.
Oh, they said they hear you loud and clear.
Oh, they heard you talk.
Well, I'm sure they'd let us know if they because,
All right.
yeah. So I play the cleric of the group, Morkant, and I'm super excited to be back to play. I'm going through some D&D withdrawals.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's go to Dylan.
Yeah, I definitely know the feeling. It's been about 2 weeks since I've played them. I'm Dylan. I play Essloff, the Dragonborn Barbarian. And I am still to be playing this evening.
All right. Tiffany, whose shirt I'm wearing for her Dungeon Damsels game. It is awesome. You need to go get one. And more importantly, you need to go watch her streams, because they're also awesome. Yeah, her videos, her VODs.
I'm on podcast form. And my name is Tiffany. I play Kara Twin Saint Twin. She's the bard of the group. And I also run my own campaign called Dungeon Damsels. So if you're interested in that, we're on YouTube, and we also have a bunch of podcasts. But, yeah, this show is also awesome, and I'm excited to play.
And Morgan.
What's up, everybody? I'm Morgan, and I am the founder of Mindfully Mondays, where if you need a DM, you can hire us, and we will help you out and give you the best game we can. Me and several of the DMs work together on this. I also have content on the DMs Guild, and I have shirts and merch for you available now on Amazon and Redbubble, thanks to Tiffany, who showed me something awesome. So check out the stores if you want to support the team. And with that,
Are you wearing one of your shirts?
I am wearing one of my shirts. Dungeon Yousters. So, with that, I'm playing Vezrin Madrick, the party's annoying, arrogant, wood elf noble. He's got a softer side that he hides. And with that, I'm, as always, super excited to play these guys, especially after being away for so long. So, let's get
Yes. So does anybody want to recap what happened 2 weeks ago? You can do it collectively.
I like doing it collectively.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we collected. Okay, I have to think like 2 weeks back. What did we do?
We started off with Rotha.
Yes. Start out with
And then-
Rotha, and then we found out that Vezrin's brother Aelin has like a secret stash of like stolen goods, and then we found out that that secret stash has a secret entrance to Aelin's like tower.
His quarters.
Yes. There we found that he had a list of people he was hunting down and was of interest, and on that list we found out that he was looking for a relative of Morkant, and he was also looking for Telison, who is Caradwin's son, with Vezrin's other brother, Eldrin.
That's right. He's an uncle.
And also,
Surprise!
the stuff was warded to protect whoever was.
Yes.
And then afterwards, we approached Aylin's minion, so to speak, his aide, the steward, the house steward, but really Aylin's steward.
Yep.
And we kind of held him over Vezrin kind of like held him over the edge of the wall, and then we put a zone of truth on him, in which we learned a lot more about what was really going on there. And we got the first time the name drop of Talon, which we later found out was, I believe, tabonese, from what we understood.
Yeah, it's her.
Yeah.
It was one of her aliases, and she has my older brother magical charms, and it looks like she has a contract. Yeah, well, looks like she has a contract on Aylin's soul, so he made a deal with her. So we then decided to try to flee after meeting one of the black
Heart.
the black squid,
Black
Octopus?
ring.
Oh, the black rings. Yeah.
black rings, which are people who have like dedicated their lives or did something amazing for the island or for my family. They're awarded for their bravery or their actions, and we found out a lot of them were being killed. We were trying to meet one who had information for us. We took her, the steward, and my siblings, 3 of my siblings, and we tried to flee the city. At which point Talon chased us down, and Essloff severed the magic rope that she had, pulling the steward's soul to her, and then scared the crap out of her with this big axe.
And she fled.
Yeah, then she fled, and we're staring at the woods, trying to find the portal.
Yes. So you're actually at the wood line, getting ready to cross the woods to get into the big plains before the big lakes, and it is getting later. So you're actually getting at the wood line right around the time that it would start to get dark, shortly, near dusk.
Scott, how far is it that we know from here to the portal, since we've made this trek before? I mean, how much further? How many hours of travel?
Oh, to the portal, it's a long ways. It's almost a day to the portal itself. It's
Oh yeah, it did take a while.
yeah, it's probably 3 hours or so to the cabin, maybe 4 to the or 3.5 to the Broch that's in ruin, and then the rest of the time would be crossing the I don't remember the name of the Geldwine Bridge, I think is what it's called. I have to go check my notes. Let me check.
So we're going to need to stop and camp at some point. It might be wise if we don't go too deep into the forest, but there's things in there that might try to bring us home. But if we stay here, she'll definitely come back with more people.
The Marygeld Bridge.
Did we ever confirm if the Broch by the cabin has like one of the marks to like ward off the clouds and stuff? 'Cause I don't
I
remember.
think we did. Didn't you say that there were markings on our protection?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, we could try to go to the Broch and hole up there for a little bit, at least till morning. Can you see? Would I know if that's a good like waypoint in between where we are and where the portal is?
Probably. It's defensible too. Probably more so than the cabin, for instance.
It's more defensible than the cabin.
That's
We have to
It
go
might be
there.
the wisest idea. The only concern is if she sends lots of troops that way, we might get surrounded and not really have a way to escape. And we'll have to fight our way through. But it would give us a sense of protection and perhaps allow Rotha to access her abilities to maybe forewarn us of any dangers.
Right. Well, I mean, there's gonna be danger in anything we do, so I think the Brock is the best bet, and we can set up, watches, try to keep an eye out. I mean, it would be hard pressed to keep an entire bunch of troops hidden in the forest. Sneak up on us.
And there's the fog.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about this fog. Can't leave at it.
Agreed. We should head to the rock.
Okay.
Let's go there.
So you head through the forest, and the people who actually know their way through are actually Caradwin and Vesrin. They don't know it super clear, but they know more or less how to get through it without too much trouble, although a lot of it is head that direction. Keep heading, would that be southwest? I know, it must be very disconcerting for you. Ugh. And you're going through the woods, and this is one of the times when you're glad you don't have horses, because the woods here are they have, yeah, they're dense, and there are roots that just sort of reach across all kinds of flat areas. Vesrin, that generally your family would not cross this part of the woods with horses in most cases. It would be a pretty hard push to do it. So you head in, and as you're in, it takes about an hour and a half to cross here. So you're in for a while, and it starts to get dark. And about halfway through, you realize that you get sun goes down, and the shadows get long, and the fog has already made it dim enough as it is. Suddenly, it went from dim to dark in the span of 20 minutes, and that dark is a deep, deep dark. Now, some of you can see in the dark, but you can't necessarily see through the fog very easily, even with the dark.
Who was it that was needed to use some wind to open up a path for us to follow?
I can create some wind, but not for a very long period of time.
No, but it might be enough to get us where we need to go. At least keep us in the right direction.
When you need me to, I can probably try and clear away an area for about a minute.
Essloff will start blowing into the fog.
Let's see for a moment and somewhat find our way through this. If we can't, then we use it. We should use it when we can no longer function. That's fine.
You want to make me either nature or survival checks? You can do it collectively and get advantage on it. It's not that hard to cross. Whoever's going to have the best roll.
I have
Oh, yeah.
I have a +4 for my nature, but I don't know what you have.
+4 on survival.
So are we all rolling together, or are we having one?
No, just do it one with advantage. And the
Mine
best
have
plus.
Survival is 4.
I have a
Mine-
+5 as well.
Okay.
Sorry, I was muted, I guess.
Oh,
Essloff keeping track of the path.
Yeah, with that, I guess Dwayne and I would be looking at like different things that we can still see on the ground to help assist him and find out.
yeah. You are going pretty slow, though, with...
Oh, he rolled a nat 20.
Nice. You're like, it's straight that way. Why are you in front of me?
Get out of the way, Vezrin.
But what is holding you up, though, is not really you guys so much as it is your compatriots that are with you. The steward is not particularly great outdoors. Fagin is very slow out here. She has with her metallic feet that are not particularly well suited for this. And actually, your sister and brother.
One of them.
At what point do we just pick them up and
You can carry her. Let the steward rough it.
Yeah,
Save
we'll
his
just-
life. He deserves it. You can rough it.
Well, it comes a point where it's
I
like,
don't know. Feel a bit cruel.
you know, if he like impedes our speed, then like
Yeah.
Carriage would just like pick him up. But like she would pick up the lady first.
Yeah,
I
she's
feel
missing
like-
legs.
I feel like knowing the alternative to being around us is death to, or his soul being removed by her, he'd probably feel pretty motivated to keep up with us.
The steward's trying to keep up. He's doing everything he can. He's just not used to it. That's all. She, on the other hand, she's doing everything she can. She's used to being outdoors. She's just not particularly fast. She has, her speed is limited.
How are my siblings doing?
They're doing okay. They're moving at about the same pace. It's really the steward and her.
I'll offer to carry the Phelan, is that her name?
Fagin.
Fagin. Oh, yeah, I don't mind carrying, if it's, I bet it's a bit difficult in the dark and with your feet.
And she's a little embarrassed, but she says,
No, it's just
once we're on the, just through the woods would help a lot. Once we're on the open plains, I would be okay, but I'm getting caught in these brambles everywhere.
Yeah,
I
no,
really apologize.
We're built for, we all have different talents. It's not a big deal.
And she kind of like climbs up on your back and puts her arms around your neck to hold on. I'm really sorry, but thank you.
You're nothing.
And she weighs like nothing. She weighs like 80 pounds. She's thin but strong, but not fast. That's all. So you start moving out, and as you start to clear the woods, can I get perception checks from everybody?
Duality. I got an actual 1.
26.
Good perception, right? 18.
What'd you get, Caradwin?
26.
Oh, wow. Okay.
2.5
You-
with the season.
You can feel a bit of a rumble in the ground.
Does it seem like an earthquake or like
No,
horses?
like horses maybe. Trying to
Does
make
it seem like it's coming towards us?
distant enough, but you can hear it a little bit.
Something sounds like a bunch of horses coming. It's real faint, but we might be encountering those. Those men that you were talking about, well, soldiers.
How far are we from the rock at this point? How far do we think we are? I mean, travel-wise, we've been on this route for some time.
Right. Yeah, you probably got another hour and a half to get to the Brock.
We have two options. We can try to carry the Stewart and hoof it there as quickly as possible, because they're going to have to slow down if they're going to into this forest. Those horses are not built for this.
True.
We can either try to beat them there, or we can try to hunker down and see if they go past us. But there's no telling if Talon or Tabonese or whoever she is has a way of tracking either him or one of us. We may know exactly where we are at this point.
I think it's best to assume that they do.
I agree.
So
In that
so-
case, it might be best to press on.
Yes, I don't feel comfortable trying to fight with these other people with us.
And the steward chimes in. And the steward goes, I agree, we should move faster even if we can. I'll try and speed up a little.
Well, I'm glad that you're on board, sir. It's nice to know that we're all on the same page.
And he keeps looking over his shoulder, but there's nothing to see with the fog, so.
Scared of something.
Are we going to try to double team it in the fog towards the Brock? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think we're going to try to move as fast as we can. Until
Yeah.
we can get there.
Let's go.
And
Scott, we probably try to move as quickly as we can without necessarily risking injury or getting pulled off the trail too much. We're not we're still trying to keep a very good focus, just not like running wild in that direction.
I think Morcant would want to take the rear and try to keep an eye on as many people as he can in the fog to see that everyone kind of stays together.
Essloff, one thing you know that you used to do when it was a heavy snowstorm, which is kind of like what this is anyway, is you would put a rope and just everyone would hold onto a rope. And that was one way to make sure that everybody stayed, together when you couldn't see each other if it was really, dense snow or fog. And you as a survivalist, you would probably know that would be a safe way. Be aware of it.
Yeah, well, the fog gets to be a problem, I suggest.
Yeah, okay. So you get out into the fog and you start doubling down. And the steward, surprisingly, is actually trying to keep up and keep moving. He's not doing great, but he's trying his best. Let's see. Ratha's moving really well. Your other two siblings, meh. And that's actually it, are you still carrying Fagin, or are you letting her walk?
She would still carry her, yeah.
Okay, because it does make a difference with her. So you're moving for a while, and you start to hear the rumble of horses further back, and you start to see in the fog the rise of the hills ahead of you, which that means you're in the area near the Brock.
Oh, that's good news.
Yes, we're much closer now. Now we just need to find the location and hook it down and hope that they go past it. Most don't even know this place exists.
I'll probably end up going over back to the back of the group where Morcant is, just so if anybody reaches us, I can be the first to intercept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because me and Twin would be in the front, because since I have dark vision, we both know the route. So.
Yeah.
Is it dark out now?
Nightfall has happened,
It's night. Yeah, it's dark.
It's dark and foggy, and we can only see a few feet in front of us, so...
At this point, I'll probably take out the rope and I'll hand it to Ben.
Okay.
I'll go back, and I'll say,
What is the rope for?
don't let go of it. And then I'll go back and I'll hand it to each person. I'll say the same thing.
Okay, I'll just loop it through my arm as I'm piggybacking.
Okay.
Holding the piggybacker.
And you start to move, and you run for a while, and it sounds from the sounds of it, the horses in general seem to be zigzagging more than coming straight at you. They may be having trouble with the fog as well, but they're still working their way in the same direction as you. You don't know how many there are, though. And as you're moving, you can see there are patches of greenery and in between the snow, but for the most part, it's snowy. And you finish traveling until you realize you're in the area of the Brock. You hit the area where the hill is, and it starts to open up, and for the first time, you recognize the area a little bit.
I remember that rock. We're close to it.
Yeah, so you can see the entryway to the Brock up ahead of you. It faces northeast. And as you travel, the horses start to narrow the distance, you can tell. And suddenly the fog breaks, and you realize you're in the clearing before the Brock.
Okay.
And it's weird. It's like being in the eye of a hurricane. You can see the fog kind of wrapped around it. And on the edge of the Brock, on the top of the hillside next to it, you see a pony. that is just kind of bouncing it from point to point on the around the entrance and kind of running around the top of it, almost like it's playing. And then it starts to rain.
Oh, like the sky rains?
It starts to rain, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Alright. Rain. That's it. But we're here.
Let's go over to the brook.
Yeah, let's go down the brook.
Slope does not look heavy in the rain.
Well, I'll put down Fagin because I'm sure she wants to walk. Now that it's clear.
Yeah. And Fagin, actually, she feels better walking than you felt better putting her down. She didn't like doing that. I'm going to get rid of that. So when you get there, you can see it's snow-capped along the top of the hill, and this unicorn pony is running along the edge and seems excited when it sees all of you. And it kind of runs down the hill towards you. And it runs towards, oddly, Esslof first.
Another strange horse.
It's the
And
same
it-
one, isn't it?
Oh,
It is. Yeah. And it starts trotting alongside you, and it moves its horn through you a little bit, like through your back and stuff. And it feels weird.
Yeah, even like it. And it nudges away from me, tries to push it away. Yes. They really can't touch it.
And it moves over to Caradwin and jumps through her.
Yes, we're happy to see you too.
And it's just sort of prancing and just almost playful when you're here. And as it's out here, you see the fog kind of start to close a little bit, and it suddenly bolts to the top of the hill and starts running along the top edge. And the fog, like, pulls away from the Brock.
I think maybe it's this unicorn pony that pushes the fog away.
I do believe it is its job to protect this place, and perhaps it's doing just that, protecting it from the dark magic that was unleashed. How is Ratha and my siblings seeing this unicorn?
They're in shock. They've never seen one. So they're just... And actually, the one that's probably the most surprised is not Ratha, is Ilyana. Yeah, she's like wide-eyed at the prospect. And she tries to go pet it, and it sort of stays there, but she realizes at that moment that it goes through, and she pulls her hand back a little. What is this place?
It's a spirit, and it's protecting this ancient location.
It's a rock from ancient times. We know that there are certain wards here that protect us from the... Well, we know it's effective against succubi, so we're hoping it's effective against our enemies now.
And as you're coming up, you can see that there's like some rocks in the ground off to the sides. And they never really stood out before because there's rocks all over the hill anyway, but in the snow they kind of protrude a little more than you would have thought. When you get in, there's a rock in the center of the area that probably the last time the two of you were here, Caradwin and Vesper, you probably sat on it while you looked at the runes and stuff. And your sister, Ratha, she goes, my eyes feel so much clearer in here. All of them.
Well, that's good.
How many eyes does she have on her
That's
face?
effective.
2.
This level structure on her.
She has 2.
So, Twin, it seems we are correct. It does allow her to
Well, in any case, we might. Are we like still in the meadow type?
No,
thing?
you're on the edge of the rock. You can go into it if you want.
There's no roof, right? That's just like it's open.
Correct. It's open air. There was at one time in the past, probably like the Soul, but you know it's a ruin at this point.
Is it still raining?
Yeah, it's raining. It's a light
Is
rain.
there any shelter?
The rock, but it doesn't have a roof.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like, is there anything I can have?
No, it's not really shelter. You'll be in the rain.
Just go hold up the steer above my head.
I can create an umbrella for you, but it's an illusionary one. So it won't help.
That umbrella.
That's a bad umbrella.
He's like, it's not working.
This thing's broken. I can't even hold it though.
So what are you doing when you get in? You can still hear the horses slowly moving closer.
Well-
How far away do they sound at this point?
Maybe half an hour, 20 minutes away.
I'll be standing watch.
I think perhaps we should go inside. At least we won't be as noticeable. If they go past this location, they won't necessarily see us inside of it. Because we can hide around the corners and still keep an eye out. With this number of people, it would be kind of hard to hide anywhere else, don't you think?
I agree.
I can sneak out there and scout a little bit with my my ability to disappear.
I can't see anything, so.
It could be wise to save that in case we need it when they get here. Perhaps we do as Lola say, we go inside and set up a watch and hope that Martha is able to see any trouble before it comes. She has her sight back, so we should use that to our advantage.
I agree.
I would agree with Bezra.
Fagin takes her dagger out and she starts sharpening it on the stone that's there. You never know if we're going to need this.
I like your spunk, but we don't want you to engage unless we go down. Last resort.
Yeah, I know.
Just making sure. I don't want you running out there.
I've spent my whole life being ready for last resorts, and they seem to come up all the time.
Well, in this situation, last resort would mean that we're all dead. So let's not hope that happens.
Yeah, let's not. Okay, so what are you doing now? Individually or collectively?
I think
Just waiting.
the entrance there, is it like high or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, the rocks are lower than the top edge of the hill. So you don't even see it until you're right on it, almost. And you're in a deep hole in it, so even while it's raining, it actually gets puddles and stuff.
One thing I'd like to do, let me see how long it lasts. I was joking about, the umbrella thing, but
Cast light.
no.
Start a big fire right in the middle.
Right.
I mean, I can continuously do it because it's a cantrip. I want to create like an illusionary thing, kind of like blocking that little entrance, so it just looks like if somebody does come this way, they don't see it. Plus, that way, it doesn't show that there's like a way into here.
Okay.
Rocks, it's like a minor illusion to make it look like rubble. Match
Right.
rubble.
So you're going to basically continually cast it over and over, stay over there and keep it going.
And not necessarily, actually I'd probably start doing it now as one thing, just so if they have scouts that are ahead, then maybe we can...
Make me a perception check when you're getting near into that area.
What am I at? 15 plus perception, so it's 3, so 18.
The rock has some marks on it that are just barely visible, but the rock in the center that you sat on before that remind you a little bit of the ones that brought the beast of buried skulls. Not the same, but similar.
I will, after I cast the illusion, I will take a rubbing on that rock.
Okay.
And I will hand it to Gwen so she can look over it. can you make head or tails of this? And if I can assist with Arcana, I will. I don't know if she needs that or not. So.
She'll take it and look at it and sort of like hold it up to the light of the moons, I guess. I don't know. Well, I'll take a look at it.
It has some really old runes that it looks similar to what you had seen with when you called the transport beast. It's not the same. There's a few things a little different, but you know, it might be. You know, this place has magical runes all over it, apparently. So, or runes. I don't know if they're magical anymore.
Can I discern if it's what type of like spell they were intended for?
Make me an Arcana check.
Okay. Where that was 6.
That new die needs to warm up.
Like I said, I could do an Arcana check, and that's my area of expertise. So.
Yeah, you can work with her. I'll give you one too.
Let's see here. I haven't rolled this one in a while. See, Dylan, your whole thing of letting them charge is not necessarily work. I rolled a net 4 with a die, and I haven't rolled in a while, and it's been sitting here charging. So.
Right. Because they're not really charged.
So with the four, I have a 10 for my roll, because I have a +6 for Arcana. So.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it is dark and it's raining and
Yeah, when we have a better time.
What are you doing, Essloff?
Just standing around anxiously with the axe out.
Markant?
I'm standing near the entrance, looking out to see if I can identify where the sound's coming from, try and spot it.
Make me a perception check while you're out there.
21.
You can see off to two sides of you these rocks that are sticking out of the snow to your right and left. And they remind you of the rocks that you had seen at the other time also. They have flat surfaces. You don't know if they have runes or not from this distance at least. But, you know, they kind of rise up out of the snow like the other one did. And I mean the ones that are here. I don't know, can you see that? This one.
Talk about this one here.
And that one. Can you see that one? Yeah, those two.
I guess I'll head over to the one that would be to the right of me.
Okay. Yeah, when you get over there are some very faint runes to that one also. That remind you of the other place.
I guess after doing that, I'll head back and let everyone know.
While you're out there, make me a perception check.
Scott, one thing, if I hear anybody getting closer and closer, I want to do. The first thing I would want to do is I want to try to use prestidigitation and make it sound like we're somewhere else to try to draw them away.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, then I would immediately cast the spell on myself.
Okay.
Mirror image. That's if they come in. If they come in.
There's another rock to your right now that you're out there by that one. And it seems to be about the same distance as the one to the left. So it looks like... Yeah. Yeah, right here.
All right. I guess
Yeah,
I'll
you
make
can
a
see it.
full. I'll go take a look at it and I'll make the full circle.
Right, and you see there are 4, and that's how it was with the other one. There were 4 big rocks around it, and then one in the center that all had runes and flat surfaces.
All right. So when I'm able to make my way back in, I'll start talking with everyone. I don't know if I'm able to do that easily or quickly.
When you're in the snow, you do hear horses out there in the echoing through the fog. You hear they're close enough that you actually hear the whinnying of a horse, rather than just the clomping of the hooves.
Oh,
That's why I cast prestidigitation off in the distance to make them go away from us. Make it sound like somebody running through the forest in a different direction.
Okay.
Am I able to see anything through the fog or no?
No. It's all sound at this point.
Are they clutching the exit?
And you more can't get back around to the entrance.
They're getting awfully close at this point, but there are 4 stones out there, just like before, that are sticking out, all with runes on them.
Perhaps.
Well, if we weren't being hunted, I'd go and look.
I will. Ratha, we found something similar that let us teleport across the island. It seemed to be set up similar to what Morkant's seen here, but these stones are slightly different.
How did they work?
Well,
They're much further.
How
at the other location, you had to bring a sacrifice, like an animal that you had killed, complete the ritual, and like blood, and then on the center stone here.
Oh, it's blood magic.
Yes, but
And
doing
she takes a little dagger out and she cuts her hand a little bit, and you just sacrifice it. You squeeze it on. She squeeze it on the stone. That's it.
Well, I wouldn't do that just yet, Ratha, because when we put the blood of the animal onto the thing, a large creature came and it took the animal as payment for our travel. I'd hate for you to cut your hand and then you be taken as the thing. Unless you have an idea what these runes mean, we should be careful about how we proceed with this.
I don't.
What I would like to do is I'd like to send my bird to each of the stones if I can, to land
Okay.
on it, look at it, and then I can visually draw what the symbols are on a piece of paper, so we have all the symbols while we're inside here.
Okay, so you get the symbols, and some of them make sense to Caradwin. It seems like they somehow enhance or improve casting.
Oh, it's like an augmentation circle. It enhances your casting. I don't know exactly what it does, but it's kind of a general idea of what these runes mean.
So do you think we need to activate them to have the bonus, or is it already active? That's the real question.
I think we need to activate it. Personally.
Yes.
I think we'd feel it if it weren't active. If it were active.
Ratha, you and my sister, you are the one that will bring this house around. So, if you will, plus you are much more valuable than me. I'll take my knife and I'll cut my hand and I'll put it on the stone. I'm not going to sacrifice one of my family members or anybody on the team.
And she pushes your hand away. Don't do that. You just told me that it was dangerous. You would be sacrificing yourself. We don't need to sacrifice anybody right now, do we?
Go for it, best
If we're going to be
Right.
fighting these people here, or Talon shows up, we need to be able to activate this so you, potentially myself if I don't die, Dwyn, and anybody else here, like Morkant with
Vezrin?
abilities. Yes.
Can you guarantee that activating this would also make her more powerful?
Perhaps it will, perhaps it won't. I would assume that those who activate it would be the ones to get the benefits.
And Ratha sits on it. Says, I'm not going to have you sacrifice yourself. That's silly. If we need to do something as a last resort, then perhaps. But I think we should actually lower our volume and see if we can not be noticed.
Fine. As you wish. You are the elder. I will listen to your orders. But if things go south, I will not risk sacrificing you or anyone else here. I will be the one to put my hand on. Do you agree? Do I have your words?
We'll figure out what to do if something happens.
Do I have your word, sister?
You don't.
You're gonna make me do something even rash if you're not careful.
Why don't you rashly hide the door like you were doing before? That was working well.
Do it again.
And the door wavers as the minute comes to an end.
I'll help him. I also have my
Yeah, I'll help you with that.
Okay.
We'll like trade off.
And I guess we'll just sit quietly and wait and see if the enemy comes.
All right. Caradwin, make me a perception check. You and Morkant, actually.
17.
I am rolling ridiculously good today. 26.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Morkant, Rotha looks at you for a moment, and you see her very quietly cut her hand, and between her legs, press her hand to the stone.
Do I have time to try and grab her or no?
You're not right up against her. You can try. And she puts her hand like shh, like a whisper.
I'll just say that's not. I'm gonna yell. That's not gonna help as she does it. But if
And
I'm
her,
not
and her
able
hand goes down quick. And her hand goes right down. Right onto the stone.
Try to be quiet.
now
and-
it's time to find a giant tree.
And
Rotha becomes possessed. Shit!
and she sits there for a minute and she's like, I don't think this works. And as she's saying it, you see her eyes roll back into her head.
I don't like that.
Oh boy.
And she puts her hand out, like, to keep you from her. I can see again. I can really see again. And she starts looking around, not lifting her hand up, but I see a storm raging, swirling around us. We're in a hole together, aren't we? We are. We're in a hole together. And you know that this Brock is actually a hole. The clouds are swirling in every color. I can see it. Are they swirling in color?
Probably not, right? They're like just gray from what we can see.
Right, no.
Question real quick. Just
Yep.
Does she look like she's wavering at all in like strength? Like is this thing sucking out of her or anything like that? Does it look like she's getting weakened from whatever she's doing?
No.
Because
She
I
looks
feel
like
triggered as well.
she looks like she's ruminating. Like her, you can see, even though she has no color to her eyes, it's moving like somebody who's in REM.
If she looks like she starts to get faint from whatever she's doing, I will attempt to add my hand to it to maybe take some of the pain off of her.
Okay.
Whatever's happening. If I feel like that's happening.
There's lightning across the sky, and then there is lightning across the sky for a moment. It rumbles across. The rains are starting to fill the hole, to overtake us. There's just puddles. There's a great mare. No, wait, it's our unicorn. That's our house sigil. It's dancing on the precipice of the hole. It's blocking the door. We cannot leave through that door. And you see where you're standing? The unicorn is standing in the doorway, looking out. And its ghostly apparition looks much bigger and muscly and just powerful looking. It's no longer a pony. Outside of the ring, there's a buzzing like a horde of beasts moving in the shadows. Malice everywhere, full of teeth, scorpions, many stings. The water rises. We have to take a breath. We have to take a breath. And everything's going white. We're overcome by, it's hard to tell if it's the darkness or the light. I'm blind. And she pulls her hand away from the stone, and she repeats that. I'm blinded.
Oh, like you really can't see.
I cannot see, and her eyes don't clear up from the darkness, from the whites of them. But there are runes in this place that we stand in. We have some protections. And the Grim and the unicorn like kind of looks over his shoulder. The Grim knows a way out if we need it. And it stays in the thing and just keeps looking out. I'm sorry, Vestrin. I didn't mean to do this to you, but I couldn't let you make a sacrifice. You've already sacrificed everything. There is payment for blood magic.
You shouldn't have to pay it.
Do
You're
we
the one
do
who's
now?
supposed to lead us. You're the one who's supposed to lead our house. When this is done, you're the one who's supposed to lead. I was willing to sacrifice that so you could be.
Eslov, you hear horses that are heading up the hill. You can tell they're getting closer. Yes, they're not going sideways anymore to the hill.
We need to go inside. Get the people inside.
Yeah, I think we're already. The rest of us are inside. I think.
Yeah, I think everybody's in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just sort of. I think you were keeping an eye out to the outside. You're the only one who's really keeping your eye out for
I thought we were
everything.
outside of the stone. So I guess
This stone here. Where we are.
I'll turn around and I'll call back. They're almost here.
Eslov,
I don't think we're getting
We
out.
have an escape hatch, apparently. Do we want to stay or do we want to?
What were you gonna say?
He said if we eat it, the Grim will take us out. We should at least try to stand and see if we can push them back fast.
you don't hear the horses clomping anymore.
Do we hear footsteps?
That's sus. Yeah, do I hear footsteps?
At the very base of the hill, you're starting to hear stomping up the hill. Trying to be quiet, but it's with the snow, it's impossible to be completely quiet.
Well, I guess I'll hide around the corner and wait for them to get close. And it doesn't matter who, as soon as whoever it is steps close enough, they're getting an axe.
And
I'll look back at
If they're
everyone.
getting close. Oh man, I'm trying to think if I should cast or wait. I'm going to
We'll just do this.
I'm going to prep. If I see somebody coming in and he swings and it's an enemy, if I can see it's an enemy, I'm was it a mirror imaging on myself. So that way, as soon as they come in, it'll be right where they go, mirror image.
okay,
That way, it'll be harder to hit me.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's really hard to. The only way that they can hit you is coming through the door. You know, unless they can get above you, which they could do if they surrounded the hill and got above all of you, that would be possible. But, you know, they know that you have defenses too. So it's not really like anybody wants to go stand on the top of the hill and have you blast them. And coming through the fog, you see men with bows, Eslov. Their bows are pulled back.
I'm still hiding. I'm waiting for them to get close.
And when they see the opening where the unicorn is, well, the unicorn is standing at it.
Where are
One of them, they are, okay, they're coming up this way. Can you see that?
they? Yeah.
So they're down here right now.
Do we see Talon amongst them?
You don't.
I'm gonna
gonna cast Disguise Self to make myself look like Talon.
Actually, shit. I won't cast Mirror Image. I'm gonna have to sacrifice Mirror Image.
Oh,
I'm gonna cast See Invisibility.
Okay. You see a figure out there in the fields that is now got an outline to it that looks familiar.
Familiar as in it looks like Talon, or familiar
Yeah.
as in oh,
Yeah,
then
look,
I'll be
it's
like, nope,
Talon's
that-
form.
No, not forms. That plan's not gonna work.
Brandon is having some connection issues, so maybe we should take a break right now. Because it seems like this is about to be pretty important.
Oh, is he frozen up?
Yeah.
That is the
Oh.
perfect freeze face, though. I'm listening intently. Tell me
He
more.
actually just had his phone up to the computer with that picture.
Oh,
He's
man,
off,
I
like,
might have
playing
to
video
screenshot
games or
that. I
something.
might have to screenshot that picture and keep that. Yes. Yes.
Oh, it's
Yes, I
gone.
got it. I got it.
Good.
You got it.
Oh, he's good. Woo! Nat's running on the tech roll.
I
On the
got a
tech
good
luck.
screenshot of you, Brandon. I got a
oh, what happened?
You were frozen, but it was a very intent look, like you were like listening.
Like you were pretending to pay attention.
I said on your mic,
It's exactly what it was.
I don't know what happened. Like I went to like a slideshow, and now
It's on
they
Discord
brought
there.
dogs.
They
So
brought
I-
dogs.
I do apologize.
Yeah, the dogs.
For the last couple of minutes. What's the setup right now?
Oh.
The enemy's walking up the hill with bows. When she asked if we could see Talon, he
They've
said
already
no.
walked down the
It
hill.
made me immediately think that what is hiding. So I cast See Invisibility. She is hiding, and I pointed her out to where she's at in the fields. You guys can't see her, but she's invisible over there. So that's right where you pretty much missed. They're moving up, and we can see them. Where's she at in the field for me? I mean, I know the others can't see her, but I can see her, you said.
How tightly packed are they?
They're spread out. She is down here. Hold on. Way back here. It's even slightly in the fog back there. She's at a good distance. And she's not alone back there. There are some other soldiers and a silhouette that looks familiar to you, Vestrin. A family, form.
Ooh, so 2 invisibility, yes?
Yeah.
And where are they at?
Back here, back in the back. And they have people spread out up here coming up the hill, and they have some more soldiers back here with them. And the soldiers are starting to move forward, and they're starting to move forward too, but they're coming up slowly and carefully.
I'm gonna look back at her and like wave for them to get against the wall out of sight. Where they're standing right now, someone can take a look and see them. I'm like waving for them to go hug a wall.
And they seem to realize that there's only one entrance, and they start to tighten up a little bit, but not too close. They know that it's not particularly safe to be too close, but they are kind of making like a little wedge, like a little triangle up here, knowing that's the way in or out.
Are these squares represented in 5 feet?
They are 5 feet, yes.
I'm going to pull Raka really quickly since we'll have the illusion up so they can't necessarily see in here, away from that entrance, like along the wall. So I know she can't see.
Yeah, she goes with you.
I'd like to put her a little bit further back, like in this area, just so that way she's a little bit out of the way, so she doesn't get hit while she's walking. And I will tell Alred to take care of her. So.
Oh, that's vacant. Yeah, Alred's already there.
I'm gonna put the steward up here.
Sacrifice him.
Just take the steward and go. We could do that. That's cruel.
Actually, I think Alred and them should be over on this side because that wall gives them more cover than this wall back here. Just the way this entrance is.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll just throw him over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Either way, we're going to let them bottleneck and fight them in that little space, right?
Yeah.
For the time being, until they start
Hopefully.
surrounding us, and we have to make our move out. Hopefully, if we make our move out, we can draw them away from the others in here, and then.
Oh, you want to try and fight them in the outside then?
If we have to. First off, credit. I'm saying like, because he was saying at some point they can surround us and then they can start moving up over the edges. But for now, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they are going to try to bottle and try to like push their way in. If we can hold them off there.
Yeah, it's better to bottleneck him.
Yeah, bottleneck them for as long as we can.
The bodies will build up and they'll help to create more of a wall.
Plus, if we stay in here, it might be harder for Talon to do stuff to us.
Let's just hope that she doesn't cast any area of effect attacks. Please no fireball, Scott.
Right into the hole.
Yeah, we would all die.
Everyone dies.
Yeah, Karen Dwin, I'll just talk with her. Vezrin, do you know if you're anyone besides Ratha practices magic?
We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Scott.
Oh.
Would I know? Would I know?
Well, you know that the steward had been taught magic. That's what he sacrificed his soul for.
There's a good chance my brother might know magic as well. He is currently invisible out there by town. My younger brother. So.
Aelin.
Oh no, it's not Aelin.
Oh, it's not Aelin? I thought it was Aelin.
No, it's your older brother. Oh no, Aelin, he would never come to this.
Well then, no, it's her older brother, but there's a good chance that she might have just cast it on him as well. Sorry, I was talking to me, not Vezrin.
Right.
But I would say that as Vezrin, there's a good chance. I mean, he might know magic, or perhaps she just cast it on both of them for the time being.
Do you think Ratha knows anything that could help us out?
And you hear, "I am come to parley with your cleric."
Just gonna look at Morkant.
Whose voice is that we hear?
That's Talvamese's.
I'll kind of dust myself off, try to clean my armor the best I can. Keep an eye on me.
And do that on the armor.
Thank you. Keep an eye on me. I'll be right back.
No, stay in here. You can talk to her from here. Do not go out there. If you go out there, you won't have the protection of in here. Talk to her from here.
If we're gonna have an actual conversation, then I need to be face to face.
No, you don't.
Listen, Morkant, I understand.
I'm not going to let you leave.
I will not let you leave either. There are multiple men out there. Who's to say that she will keep her word just because you're keeping yours? We need you to stay in here. She's talking to you from out there. Did she walk up to the door? She's invisible. She's calling to you while she's invisible. And you want to walk out there and trust that she's going to have a genuine conversation after the things that she's done. If
that was kind of my plan, yes.
No.
Well, we have to realize that.
No.
Ken,
So, if
how
he tries to
tall
walk
is the
past
rock?
you-
How tall?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually dug into the ground, but the walls in the Brock are about 20 feet high. Now, the top of the Brock, though, is actually a little lower than the surrounding hill edge. So you're in a 20-foot hole.
So I'll take a deep breath and be like, Akor, guide me, and then cast Thaumaturgy to make my voice boom. And just be like, what would you like?
To parley.
I'm listening.
This is not a parley.
How is it
Men,
not? We're talking.
men, put a table out up there inside within that clear area by the door. And a couple of the soldiers start moving up with carrying some kind of a small table and some chairs or some small seats.
Perhaps tell her she can bring one person with her, and you bring Dwayne. Tell her she can bring my older brother with her, and you would bring one of us with you as a second, and bring Dwayne so she can stare at my brother. Perhaps if any of us can get
The
through,
rest,
it'll be her.
if something bad happens, I want all of you to be together.
I don't want you out there by yourself. You are our healer. You are our moral compass. If you go down, you lose both.
I'd like to be a part of the parlay.
If you insist.
Well, you need a bodyguard too.
We're just all gonna be at the table.
No.
If we all go out there, then these people will be defenseless in here.
Essloff, you and I will serve better from here. We can protect these people and watch them. And if we need to move out there, we can.
He'll sneer, but he was not going to say anything else.
Perhaps Dwayne can get through our brother.
I'll turn with my booming thaumaturgy voice and be like, have all your other men back away, only you and one other, and I will bring one more person with me. Do you agree to the conditions?
I agree. And she comes out of the fog.
I'm going to hand the axe to Carolyn.
She'll take it.
Use it wisely.
Oh, wait, are you handing me the big axe?
Yeah.
Oh, should be
The
like,
He's not attuned.
The fancy one.
She's not attuned to it, though.
Do you have to be attuned to it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she's not going to know that.
Right, she doesn't. I mean, you have to be attuned to get the benefits. You can still use it as an axe.
it's a great axe, right?
Yeah.
Can you use it? Can you even swing a great axe? Is that like one of your weapons that you can use? Or is that
I'm a Valor Bard, so I
I believe you could. I'm just curious. Yeah.
Don't break it.
it's a martial weapon.
Yeah. It's also threatening. Yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
martial. Is it?
Great axe.
It's a great axe? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. It's not.
There's the martial type.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
It's not unique.
Yes, I can use it. I can use
All right.
martial weapons.
Don't use it unless you have to.
All right.
We're gonna like
Let's
heft
head
this
out
giant
there.
axe.
I think the point of it is taking it so you don't have to use it.
And then, I guess... Do I still have that other great axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I never dropped it.
I never got rid of that.
No. You're not one that gets rid of weapons, I don't think, that easily.
No, it depends on the weapon. I'll throw a hand axe away again.
Yeah. That's not a weapon, that's a tool in your hands.
That's true.
And she walks forward and sits down.
Is she
All right.
uninvisible?
She is not invisible. She is visible.
Someone else with her, or is she by herself?
No, she's by herself.
Where's Eldrin? Do we see Eldrin?
You do. He actually is walked up behind her.
Eldrin's with her. He's invisible behind her. Use that information as you will.
I'll cast detect magic, so I can
Have-
see him.
Have all of the her soldiers backed away?
You're because you mute yourself because the dog.
Yeah. They've started backing off behind the hill. Or behind them.
Tell them to take the dogs as well.
They're a bit loud.
Those are the wolves in the distance, obviously, here.
The survivors.
They better stay back.
They've learned their lesson from the last encounter that they heard about.
Word travels quickly amongst persons.
Yep. And she sits, and her wings, they kind of rise up and then tuck in behind her.
Aren't you cool?
I walk up to the table and sit down and be like, the least you could have done was getting rid of that mocking guise you have.
As you walk out number 2. That's lovely.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I really hate that. You know that. I want to say the word. Out of respect for the ladies.
Just start with a B.
Yes.
Never heard of it.
You're talking about dogs.
Yes.
Oh, also, I imagine, did they give us another chair, or is this one?
Yeah, they gave one. They only had one for each of you, for each side.
Standing behind me then. When I
Yeah,
sit down.
she's gonna like go and stand behind Morgan and just like hold the axe, like, and then like plant the axe in front of her.
Eldrin.
Morkant, it's good to finally parlay with you and have discussion like civilized people.
There's like the loudest eyebrow raise from Carrigan.
Well, you didn't seem particularly keen on talking last time we met.
Morkant, make me a charisma check. I'm sorry, a charisma save. Sorry, not check.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
By the way,
I
Gwyn
saw
has
this.
detect magic up, so she would be.
I understand. No, it's just an innate ability.
I mean, 8's not the worst number I've ever rolled.
Yeah.
So
Would
what
not,
does
would
worst-
Gwyn not affect affecting his mind? Even if it's an innate ability, if he's affected by.
I don't think so.
How is this affecting me, Scott?
You have a fearful feeling in you about coming up here.
Oh, so I haven't arrived to the table yet?
Yeah, as you're sitting, you realize you're across from this thing, and it's made your mind a little concerned. So Morkant, I've been with you for a long time. You know that, right? And as you're looking at her, you realize she looks just like your mother. Like up close, it's even more than it was when you saw her from a distance. And you realize that aspect of her is as disturbing as the fear that you felt coming up.
Just the anger that she's in another state?
I've sent messages to you.
Well, apparently you're not very good at sending them. Now, what is it you're trying to do here?
I've sent-
tend to work really well, by the way. It's a lot easier.
I've sent messages to you hoping you could remain close to the memories of your mother, the great woman she was.
She was just a woman. That's not what's important. Why did you take her face?
You fell into darkness when she ascended. That I know.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer why you took her face. What are you trying to do here?
I've not taken her face. We look similar, if that's what you mean.
This isn't the form you've always had. This is a form you chose.
Actually, it wasn't that I took your mother's face. It's that your mother gave me this face.
Yes, this conversation is ridiculous. What did you want to talk to me about?
I want to talk to you about you and your friends. You and your friends walking away from here with your souls and your bodies intact. Isn't that what you would like to have happen?
Well, that is what is going to happen. The question is whether or not you're going to be able to return wherever you came from.
Well, you fell into darkness the moment you became the ward of your soul and Apania Alistair. And she just seethes that word out. You've been hiding behind his robes for so long that you can't even recognize when you're in the presence of a glorified celestial. Now, perhaps you could choose the righteous path now. Kairos is a god of divine grace, of beauty, of love, of gifts and secrets that are life-affirming. He's even brought me back from my fall from the heavens, allowing me to earn restoration back into the celestial pantheon. I'm so close to achieving my high status again. You're all I need. You can enjoy the restoration of the broken parts of your soul.
What do you mean, broken parts of my soul?
We know that your soul was shattered from the loss of your parents. You are the eldest of your father's children, are you not?
I'm the only of my father's children.
And she sits back for a moment. And she reaches back into her wings and she kind of ruffles up the feathers and she pulls one. This pure and white feather of mine, by the way, it's black. She claws into it, into the stem of it, something. And then she dips it, drags it across her wrist and gets some blood, and she wipes it in blood. This feather I offer to you as a truce. If you will give to me your ability to rise above the station of your Epania, dragging you downward into foolish traditions and falling away from the grace of the gods. You know what I've done, correct? And she puts the feather on the table in front of her. Make me a religion check.
Don't do it, Morgan.
Don't do it. You just yelled out from across the way there.
You don't even know what it is. Whatever it is, don't do it.
That's a 21.
You know that either an angel or a devil, if they can give you part of them with their name on it to offer you control if you know how to use it. You don't happen to know how to use it, but you know that that's what it can be done with. That's what can be done with it. If it has their blood on it, you can call on me if you will just come with me.
To where?
To rise above the station. Bring this island to the best place it can be. I'm nearly back to being a full-on deva, unmarred by my past at this point.
What's going to be better than 1,000 years of peace? Akor has brought this island everything it could possibly want. Your pathetic god has nothing to offer.
Seemingly, your god has not done much to help you either. Is that what that seems to be the stance you're taking?
I have everything I need.
So you choose to remain lost.
I am letting you know you have nothing to offer me.
We could do so much better together.
Better than 1,000 years of peace.
You think this island's been at peace for 1,000 years. There's some wars that are just under the surface of what people are seeing.
Yes, but the average farmer, the average person, they don't feel that. They're in a state of peace. You can't offer anything better than that. In fact, you offer exactly the opposite. There's been more death and disappearance in the last few months since your presence been known than this island has seen in a long time.
I'm not the one that sent your father to a watery grave.
I could really care less about my father being sent to a watery grave. He did that to himself in the taverns.
So that's your choice then.
Well, you've really given me nothing to offer.
I've given you everything, and you're too blind to see it. And she stands. So be it. And she lifts herself up and starts to back away, facing you. Then we'll be the other way. And she backs away and says, "You may return to your hole." And as she's backing away...
Sitting.
Huh?
I'll just keep sitting while she walks away.
As she backs away, she disappears.
Has Eldrin disappeared?
Eldrin was
I
never
don't- yeah,
appeared.
Well, I had
Oh, you had detect magic. Yeah. He stayed invisible, and he stayed behind her, and he's still backing away with her.
Are they both invisible?
She just went invisible again.
She's just to be like, I know you're both invisible. Is that it, Eldrin?
And then as they hit the fog,
30 years.
you don't see them anymore.
I'm going to drag the table back with me to use it as a barrier for the entrance.
Okay.
And the chairs.
It's a good idea.
And the chairs. And the chairs.
And when you turn, you
Did
see...
leave the feather on the table?
She didn't.
Oh.
But when you turn around with it, both you and Caradwin are staring at the unicorn, the now massive unicorn that's standing there, kind of looking over your shoulders while you're doing this.
How big is it?
It's like a big horse, like a big draft horse now in size.
Okay.
Stocky and bulky and a lot of hair and yeah, still like in a ghostly form.
Can we see it from where we are?
You can. Apparently, Talvamies didn't seem to see it. Didn't seem to notice it if she did, or say or take note of it if she did.
So as I walk back, I'll just mutter, like, I think she's just trying to mock me at this point.
I think there's some unlocked in your path. Your past that you don't know. Maybe your father's bloodline.
We know this, right?
Or your mother's. She seems to have some sort of connection to your parents.
Wait,
But she's also crazy, so let's just go back to the book.
yep.
And what's your marching order as you go back?
I mean, I'm walking backwards, dragging the table and chair.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll help him with the table.
Okay.
So we're kind of parallel, I guess.
All right. So as your foot hits the inside edge of the outside of the brock, an arrow flies out of the fog.
So that's how it's gonna be.
Do I have half cover on the table?
You do, and it misses and it hits the table. And
The first, the person that did it, firebolt at them. As soon as they fire at my friends, I'm firing a firebolt at them.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask really quickly.
We're inside the rock.
Caradwin, make me a perception check.
19.
You see a big circle opening up in the space just inside the fog, like a glowing ring that's going from top to bottom, like it's being made like you do with sparklers, except it's leaving a trail. And then there are runes that start showing up on the edges of it. Make me an Arcana check.
Does it look like there's a person there?
No. And Vesrin, you can make me an Arcana check too. You can see it also because you're still detecting invisible. Yeah, no.
That's going to be
We're
high.
doing something.
That's what?
18 plus 6, so yeah.
Am
All
I
right.
still frightened?
Is what?
Am I still frightened? From the person?
Once you get to the edge of the rock, you're not feeling that anymore. And
It wasn't 25, it was a 24.
okay. So you hear her, Caradwin and Vesrin, in some language that is hard to exactly tell, but you have seen summoning circles before.
She's summoning something.
Well, as if the party wasn't big enough yet.
And you hear her yell out, we'll root you out of this hole, pulling you out like weeds from a garden, one by one. Karos, Lord of Enlightenment, I call upon you to send forth devas in my moment of need, to rend your foes and ensure your return.
I go, Grim, I'm talking to the horse. We might have now.
There's absolutely out.
And Morkant, you see something come out of the circle that's not a deva. It has wings, though. It's some kind of a devil with, like, scorpion-like spines all over it. And then you see another one. And another one.
Great, that scorpion prophecy's coming true.
And suddenly you hear her yelling out, "Why are you here? I summoned devas, my sistren! Begone, you infernal foul things!" And suddenly you hear her sword draw, and she swings at one of them.
Interesting.
Initiative.
Caradwin.
Oh, do I help?
Here's your axe.
Thank you.
My rolls
Sorry,
are so
there's a
good
lot
besides the
happening.
one bad one.
I can tell. That's why I think I'll leave.
19.
Oh,
Okay, okay. Let's
got a
see.
natural 20.
I
Ooh.
got 18.
Dang.
I got a 13.
Okay, okay. Small do ruin it, didn't it?
We're all going fast this time.
I'm going the slowest.
Most of us.
Hey, 13's not bad.
13's not a bad roll.
It's not like I rolled 4 or 5 or anything like that. I mean, I rolled 13.
Right,
That's
but
a
I mean,
solid.
just
Better
just
than
thinking-
average.
Yeah. Above average.
And the bowmen start backing away. And oddly, Talvames goes first. Wait, actually, Caradwin, you rolled a natural 20. What is your dex bonus?
I have a 21 total.
Okay,
So it's
yeah.
dex.
Yeah, she goes first. And she strikes one of these with her sword. And that really is weird. All right. She hits it hard. It takes a big wound from from the back, not expecting it to come. 21. Caradwin, what are you doing?
Are the like scorpion dudes within? Oh, they're not within 10 feet.
No. But they are heading up the hill, some of them.
Are they within 60 feet?
Let's see. Yeah, they're about 30 feet, 40 feet.
Okay, I will use dissonant whispers on the one that wasn't hit. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
It makes it save.
He will still
Have his worst nightmares.
takes half his damage and doesn't have to move. Okay. So he'll take 36. I'll still take some damage. Okay, so that's 15 halved.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you the bonus 8. The bonus one. Why not? 20. The invisible person that's right behind her, you see his form back away from the summoning circle in the space, and another thing comes out, and another thing comes out, and there's a person that you don't hear or you can't see yell suddenly. You hear a voice say, "You sided with the demon." And Eldrin's voice says, "She's a celestial, a deva of Kairos. She's a fiend. We're her sacrifice for whoever the hell Kairos is." Caradwin and Vezrin, make me an intelligence check.
Always roll bad. That's a
I rolled
6.
a 12, but intelligence is my best, so 16.
You know that voice. That is the voice of Caldwell, who is one of the Black Rings, the only one that was not accounted for yet, and is supposedly the bodyguard of your older brother. And you haven't heard the voice in a long time, but you know it, like clear as day, that that's his voice.
Caldwell, you said?
Caldwell, yes.
I will yell out to Caldwell. Yes, she's a demon. We've known this. That's why we're being hunted. Help us deal with her. This is my best friend. The only one of these two, between me and my brother, that aren't under her control. Well, actually, I do that on my turn. As my yelling. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought talking was a free action.
It is. You can talk. You can say it. 20.
Well, I didn't.
So, Caradwin, what were you? Okay. Oh, that's right. You did your dissonant whispers. 18. Or that was 20, right? 19.
So when she breaks invisibility, can I see her?
Yes.
Or
In
is
the
she
distance.
beyond like my vision?
You can see her. She's on the edge of the fog, slightly in the fog.
So I think Morkant, looking into the distance when he sees the summoning coming out and he sees the face of his mother in fear, just immediately pushes the table to the side and starts running in. And I want to focus a shatter on as many of them as I possibly can.
On as many of the what?
Of the scorpion things that are coming out of the
Oh,
portal.
okay.
So I'm going to run up because I see the face of my mother in distress. And I'm going to try and shatter as many as I can.
Okay.
And I will go ahead and use my channel divinity with that.
Okay, do it. So they need to make a. What's thunder damage? They are not immune or anything to thunder damage. Nice.
Yeah, it's DC 14.
Yeah. So in that area there are 2, 3, 4. How big is it? 60 foot. Oh, you'll get all of them. Hold on. I need some more save dice.
If 60 foot is my range to cast it, it's a 20 foot radius or 10 foot radius.
Oh,
60
you're
feet is
right.
where I pick
You're
the
right.
range,
Oh, it's your point. Yeah.
radius.
Oh yeah. You won't get them all. You'll get
That's
you'll get 3 of them.
You know,
You you'll get 3 of them. And her.
Okay, sounds good. No, I don't want to hit her.
Oh, you don't. Okay. And all 3 of them fail their save. Wow, that was rolling like you guys were rolling earlier.
Is that 24 damage? Oh, they make
Yeah.
their saves, so that's not 24. 12 even.
No, they missed their saves.
They all failed.
They all failed.
Oh, they failed.
Yep.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
And then as I do it, I just want to yell "Mother," and keep running maximum distance towards her.
Hate
See.
fantasy. Love her. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Right now.
It's just a reaction.
No, I know.
18. Boom! Thunder hits. 17. Okay, I have 2 17s.
Dylan, aren't you on 18, Dylan?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, 18. Okay. What are you doing, Dylan?
know whether to run out or.
Well, Morcant ran out. He's out there by himself.
I'm fine. I got this.
Do the math.
I could make it to Scorpion 1. I can make it to within melee range of Scorpion 1. I think that's what I'll do. He'll charge past more camps, and he'll run forward and bring the X down on the Scorpions.
Is there a way to zoom on this map?
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom now.
All you gotta do is
Scroll.
scroll forward, scroll backwards.
By the way, Scott, that is.
It should. I'm surprised it's not caught up.
That is like a 24 to hit.
Yeah, 20 will hit.
Do I hit the guy?
Why did it not zoom?
Ooh.
It's weird.
Damage.
I zoomed here, but it didn't do the zoom on the screen when it should have. 15?
Yeah.
Okay. And, okay, so this was the first one, which has not been hit yet.
Yeah, I was attacking him. Yeah. Right
Okay.
here.
All right. Nice. It takes the hit and it gets ready to strike. It is on 17. So it is going to strike back. When it rears up, it has a trident in its hands, and it lifts itself into the air with its spined wings. And it not throws, but like jabs its trident forward at you.
Okay.
And it starts to lift into the air. What's your AC?
14.
It hits. You take...
Most things do.
yeah, you get hit a lot from these. You take 6 points of damage from the trident.
That's not that bad.
Nope, not bad. At all.
What's the catch? Where's
Then-
the poison damage, Scott?
There's other stuff coming, don't worry.
Oh, thank God.
17. Oh, there's another one at 17. So another one now is flying towards you. And it is also engaging with its trident.
Good ones, dude.
How many are
And there are 6. And you take 7 points of damage from that one. It hits also. And it's flying kind of low to the ground and rising up right in front of you. It is one though that had taken some damage from Morkant's boom. 16, 15. What were you at, Vesrin?
Scott, what is this on the map?
Oh,
That.
I've just been adding like the number of
Yeah.
scorpion dudes.
Yeah, that's. I'm not actually doing that stuff. That's you guys doing that.
It's me. That's Scorp number 4, and here's Scorp 5.
Nice.
'Cause there's 6 of them.
Yeah.
Let them group tighter and tighter. That'll be good.
We said they're coming closer, so.
What was your role, Vesrin? What's your initiative?
13.
13.
Myself muted.
So 16, 15, 14, 13. You're up, Vesrin. What are you doing?
As I was saying before, I would yell out to Caldwell to remind him that yes.
And you did that.
And then, is my brother still invisible? After I yelled out? I don't know.
He's not, but he's pretty far back.
Coward. I might yell that at him as well. I will yell that he's a coward, and then I will unleash a chromatic orb on tabonese.
Okay. Sucks eggs. Rude.
So, and it will be like it's been before, because I saw that hurt her the last time I did it.
Okay.
So I know that works on her like it worked on the succubus.
It does.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14.
That.
Probably misses.
Yeah, it probably does. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, it misses. And she doesn't even pay attention to it. She seems to have narrowed her focus so much on her not devas that are here.
Interesting.
And that was 13. We moved down quickly to 9. Another one of them is flying up. Actually, it's attacking her. And it actually hit. That was surprising. I didn't think it would hit her. So she takes 4. And you can see her anger start to rise up as she takes a hit from this thing. 9, 8, 7. Another one is flying up. It's flying towards and trying to get to the wall. So it is. Yes.
Would Essloff and Morkant get opportunity attacks on it?
It's flying.
Not when it's flying. It's flying above them. It goes over the fray. There's another one at 5. It goes to over to the other side. If you want to move one.
They don't protect us much against flying things.
No, they don't.
Probably can't come in though.
So did it go to the other side of the rock or the other side of the...
The other side of here. I'll drag it over. Like they're trying to get around the entrance.
Oh.
Those two.
They by the Grim.
They are by the Grim, and they don't see the Grim. It looks like 2, 1, and Talvames strikes another one and hits it. Not another one, the same one. and she hits it hard, and she plants it. And she plants it into the snow, and it stays there for a moment, and then disappears, just fades out into dust. You shouldn't be here. I summoned devas. She just yells at them as she starts charging into the fray with them all. Back up to 24. She strikes another one. She misses one, probably in her wild anger. Then Eldrin yells back at Caldwell. Sacrifices for the greater good help everyone attain a higher state. Do you hear yourself? Their families and children, my children. And then he goes, and they were right. Your own children were your own child wasn't safe with you. And he strikes at Eldrin. Ooh, he gets a crit.
Nice. Called out. Woo! I like it.
And he gets him hard. You see slash, and he falls back hard. And you hear Talvamez yell out, "What child?" 19. Morkant.
Wait, what about me?
Yeah.
Gwen,
You're forgetting 20.
Oh, Dwen's at 20. I'm sorry. I had you at 18. My bad.
Okay, so.
Oh,
she's
sorry.
gonna-
Gwen, just be quiet and stand there going,
My bad.
my son.
She's gonna go and what I'm gonna do is she's gonna go up to the table of the entrance, and then I think she could probably get her spear around it and try to stab one of
Yeah, for sure.
them nearby.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll to stab. Ooh, that's a natural. Okay, so that's a 15 plus. So that's a 17 to hit. Yeah.
That hits.
Okay. Double
Nice.
two-handed. Yeah, that's 4 points damage. 3 point counts.
That does help.
I will use my bardic inspiration to inspire Essloff, and so she'll just start drumming on her bodhran, knocking out a battle march type thing.
And I
Nice.
have 2 now.
That does. You have 2 on you.
You have a bardic and then you have a regular one.
Oh,
It
yeah.
only lasts
Plus 2.
10 minutes.
Right, so I gotta use it while I can.
So, when I heard Vezran's brother talk, does he sound like he's being controlled? Or does he sound like...
No, he sounds in shock and surprised at the revelation of demons coming out of that hole, too. Just like she was in shock at it. She was summoning devas after all.
Okay. So I will, as a bonus action, cast Shield of Faith on Ezlof to give him +2 AC,
Okay.
and then walk up and try and hit one with my magical names.
Okay, you can. There's plenty there.
15 to hit.
That hits.
Three damage.
Oh. You and Caradwin are, fighting for least damage at the moment.
Down there. Not
Uh,
roll.
Morkant, you see Talvamese, even though she's attacking these things, she's holding something back too. Like she has another weapon out here, and she's not using that one. Just something you could see that as you're coming up. Essloff can see it too, that she's actually fighting two-handed, but using only one weapon to attack with. 18, Essloff, your turn. What are you doing?
Well, the other scorpion ran away. Essloff's not that interested in scorpions, so I think he's going to go attack tabonese.
Okay. You can get right in there. And there's two other devils right around you, or three actually close. Thank you, by the way, Caradwin, for doing that. God. What'd you roll?
24 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Not a natural 20, I guess, right?
No.
Close, though. Oh, no, you just have so many pluses now.
All the inspiration.
Yeah.
12 damage on her.
And she turns when you hit her.
Bonus action rage. I should have done that before. If I did that before, it would be too more damage.
You can also
Now
use
you're-
my
can do it.
combat dice to add damage.
Oh,
Or
okay.
AC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just do that right now. Well, what's your dice? Is D6?
Yeah, it should be a 6. Yeah.
4 more damage then.
Okay. Essloff, Vesperin. No, not Vesperin yet. So, Cardwell strikes again at. Oh, he's prone. And hits your brother again. And he plants his sword into him and leaves, and Eldrin falls back off his knees and just sort of into the snow. And Cardwell turns and looks at all the fray here, and he starts charging into it.
He's like a royal knight.
Yeah, he's somebody who's earned his way by being loyal.
Oh.
And he's not feeling so loyal at the moment, but we'll see.
Yeah, clearly.
17. Okay, one of the devils goes over the wall, and the Grim leaps up to the wall, and it suddenly is rebuffed. It's like it hits just something. And when it does, it sort of backs away, but up in the air. And the other one by the entrance tries to fly into the entrance where you're at, Caradwin. And it swings at you with a tail that has all these spikes on it.
Behind the table.
Yeah, you have coverage. You have some coverage. Yeah, and some of the spines fly out of the tail and stick into the wood, and they're covered in a liquid. And it flies up above, but doesn't enter the thing, just kind of goes straight up and starts looking around also. 17. One of them attacks Talvamese. Oh, nice. A nat 20. Oh. And it hits, does some damage, and Talvamese turns on it. Vesrin. Vesrin.
Vezrin's seen his brother go down. Does it look like my brother's dead or bleeding out? What does it look like from here?
It's hard to tell. He took two really nasty hits from Cardwell. And Cardwell is a swordsman, knows his stuff.
Dwayne, didn't you have a potion of healing? I thought we bought one or got some somewhere, and somebody was carrying them.
We got some early. You wanted me to carry them, and I said I didn't really need to. I think that was even before she was in the party. Like one of our first things we got.
Well, I don't know what those questions are right now, so not worried about that. I'm going to Misty Step out there. I'm going to move this up to Dwayne, closest to Dwayne. Where's my brother at exactly on the map? Can you show me where he is? I want to see if I can get to where he is.
He was back here with Cardwell and him are both back here. Oh, back here? Oh, sorry, I'm moving the wrong thing. Back here.
Okay, so if I move 20, 25, 30, right there, and then 10, shit, you're right. I won't be able to do it. All right. I will move up to by Dwyn, and I'll try to get to my brother next turn. The one that's right here that she attacked. This one right here.
Yes.
I need to get this one out of the way so I can move over there and try to get to my brother.
That one's up in the air.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it didn't enter. It attacked her with its tail and flew straight up.
All right. Well, then I'm not gonna worry about that. I'll be able to move next turn. I will attack tabonese again. So
okay.
I will throw another first level chromatic orb.
Okay.
That's my last one for the day. My first level spells. We never rested before after I used some of the spells. So, acid again.
Do it.
Natural 15 plus 6.
That hits. That one hits.
Okay. Last time I missed.
Doing some damage.
Yes. 3d8. So 1, 2, and sorry, there it is. I'm trying to find it. All right. 15 points.
Nice.
Does this place enhance my magic at all? I meant to ask that earlier when we were casting. And if it did,
You don't know. You can't really feel anything different.
So I hit tabonese for 15 acid.
Yep. And she burns.
And I will yell, Eldrin, stay down, brother. I'm hoping that he's alive and that he chooses
right.
to stay down and to get up.
And 13. Esslof, the ones on you attack. The one that's right a little further back. Hold on, this.
AC now, by the way.
Does that include the Shield of Faith?
Yeah. No, that's
Okay. Nice.
I don't know how your rage works.
I know AC from rage. I just get
16. You got hit by one of them, and you're angrier and angrier. I imagine.
just focus.
7 points, and one of them, the one over. Where is it? 2, 3. Oh yeah, there's 5 now. That one's gone. Okay, we get all the way down to the bottom, and Talvames strikes at you, Esslof, as you enter the area with her other hand. Ugh. And she missed very badly.
I just looked at her like that. You call that a swing?
And then we're back up to 24, and she turns to you with the other sword. And she hits.
Okay.
How's she looking,
You-
by the way?
And you take 14 points of damage as she brings the sword hard around. And she's been taking some damage. And she looks almost as enraged as Esslof.
Oh, I should have said that in Swedish. And I said that last night in Swedish.
I like when you do that too. It's cool. 20 Caradwin.
Here, let me go back in.
Oh, you're.
Nice. That sounds angry.
The woman's trying to fix her headset, I think. She's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
There it is.
There's like a button on my headset that I hit sometimes. Anyway, so Kiradwin sees Eldrin go down, and I don't think she'd like look that different, but like just the whole world would like slow down for her, and then like she'll just she would hesitate because she'd like look back at like the people behind her, and then notice that the like demon things can't come into the Brock, so she'll just hop over the table, and then I'll burn my action and my dash to get to Eldrin, and then I'll use my bonus action to cast.
What? Okay. To cast.
Try to get up to this next turn. So that's
I'll use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Eldrin.
Oh. You guys are always saving people that really should die.
If she didn't do that, I would just save him on my turn. I was attempt to. I was going to teleport over there with Misty Staff.
So he should be save 5 points.
Yeah.
I was going to position for Healing Word as well.
And
all three of us are trying to.
I might have heard
Back.
that you guys getting upset about it, so what is my priorities?
and his
You guys are like climbing over each other just to save this guy.
To save a villain, yes, it's kind of the
It's my
theme of the
brother.
party.
I still
It's
love
my-
him.
and his eyes open.
Too.
Essloff just doesn't care.
And his eyes open and he sees you. And he just, did we have a baby?
That's really not this. This is really not the time. And then she'll I can't move. Yeah. Just scoop him up in her arms. Like, come on, Pouty Prince, let's get out of here.
Yeah, you can't move. You kind of can't move for more than just lack of dash left.
I burned all. I had exactly enough to get there.
20. Cardwell moves up and strikes at one of the demons, the one that's on Esslof that I moved up with like an eyeball on it. And tries to get it from the back. And he badly misses. 19. Morkant.
So I will walk up to position. Now he's standing there. Thunder Wave. I don't know this guy.
Yeah, you could get a lot there. You could get 4, including
If I
Esslof.
know about Eslov, I get everything.
Couldn't you position yourself to not hit them? Or I guess not really.
That's a cone, so like I can get here. I'm still gonna hit him and her. Okay.
Could you? I mean, you could probably go like here and then like. You'd still
Eslov didn't have.
everything. You go back to back with Esloff and hit these two.
I was just say, if you actually, you might be able to. Hold on. If you move here, you could angle it to where you hit these two and maybe the third one without hitting Eslo, if you angled right. Because you know,
Oh, this way?
Yeah, kind of
15 feet. Yeah, I could hit. That, but I'm trying not to hit her.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just.
We're gonna kill
Which,
her.
which
so.
one's looking which one's looking worse for wear of the three of them, Scott?
The two you'd hit before, which are
3 and 6.
these two, get the marking tool, these two.
Okay. Right here, I'll extend my hand out to the scorpion and cast inflict wounds. That is a modified 20. Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
That hits.
All right.
Oh, that's necromantic.
And that would be 18 damage.
Oh, that one goes down.
And then I want to turn to Tabonese and just be like, it's clear your god is false. It's about time you decide to reconsider your salvation.
She's in the middle of combat, not responding to that.
You can be pretty savage sometimes.
He can be. The one there.
Hold it for your weak gods.
The one that's there. One of the ones. One of them that's there strikes at you, Eslov. And misses. Very close, though. Almost hit. 9. Then...
What initiative? No, contraband.
That was on 17. Oh, you went. I'm sorry, you didn't get to go. Sorry, you get to go. Yep, you're right. I thought we'd done 18. We didn't.
I will, once again, swing at Tabonese, hoping for that net 20.
I know.
Oh god, we're all gonna die.
Does a 19 hit?
A 19 hits.
It's going to be 16 damage on her. No. It's going to be... Oh, so that was a dirty 20 instead, actually.
Okay. And what was the damage?
1 second. So it's... damage? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 20.
Now it's 18. That one swung and missed. 9. The two up here that are up by the entrance but flying. They're flying higher and higher, and you see them start throwing spines down into the rock. And the spines are falling in. And who's there? Vesrin is there. Yeah, Vesrin, you can hear people inside screaming in pain at something.
Yes.
9, 5. Back down. Talvamise swings at you, Eslov, and she hits. Wait, what's your AC now?
16.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You take 5 points. It goes back up to the top, and she, instead of attacking again, she's at 24.
I know, but I never went.
Oh, 13. Go ahead. I did.
I'm not Dwayne. Don't skip me. No,
Okay. Go on. So you heard the anguish inside. What are you doing at Vestrin?
Am I able to drag the table to them and have them use it as cover?
Yeah.
I will use my turn to bring the table into the room so that they can all get underneath it and use it to protect them from the falling shrapnel in a sense.
Yeah.
And I will make sure that nobody's like dead or dying.
2 of them have spines sticking out of their shoulder or stomach or whatever. The Allred does, and Ratha does, or do.
Do they look like they're in life-threatening situation at this moment, or do they just look hurt?
It's hurt.
Okay. I use this table, stay hidden, and make sure nobody gets hurt. Stuart, get over here and protect my sister. You said you were protecting this family. Do so.
And he starts casting something. You actually know he's casting shield.
And then if I don't think I have any. I don't know if I have any movement left, but if I do, I'll move at least towards the door so I can look out, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can move 10.
So I think
You can see out a little bit. Yeah, it's not super clear. You're partially covered, but
and that'll be my turn.
okay.
I gotta
Then-
protect the family. Sorry.
Yep. Then she makes her attack on Eslof. And then instead of attacking again when we get back to 24, she flies and goes into the air.
Attack of opportunity, though, right? Because she's leaving his range.
She does not give an attack of opportunity when she goes up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, she doesn't.
His flyby.
Yep, she has flyby.
Land.
Yep.
What if
And then
I
20.
can't remember. Does Sentinel
Actually-
does Sentinel ignore that?
Huh?
I can't remember. Does Sentinel ignore that? Like those kind of things? I can't remember if Sentinel does or doesn't.
I don't know. Let me look. I don't remember. Let me
I don't
look it
think
up.
he has Sentinel, but I was just curious.
Oh. If he doesn't have it, I don't want to do it.
No, we can do it later. I just didn't know.
Yeah, I don't want to do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to do that.
Actually, back down on 1, arrows start flying. Because they've backed up enough and they're getting their attacks. They just attack on 1s.
Did back away.
Exactly. They're bowmen. That's what they do. Morkant, what's your AC?
18.
Oh. Damn. That's pretty damn good.
Morkant is a tanky boy.
Yeah. You almost get hit, and it goes whizzing by, and you don't get hit. Then one of the devils, the flying devils, gets hit. Oh, it doesn't do any damage to it. Never mind. So it hits and does nothing. And then one of them shoots into the Brock through the entranceway, and there's nobody there. Vestrin's covered enough that it wouldn't hit him. So arrows start to fly. There's 3 more that miss pretty badly too. And they're mostly shooting at the entrance to the Brock and at Morkant and Esslof out on the outside. But Eslof's surrounded by bodies, so not much of a thing there. So back to 20. Caradwin.
Okay, so can he walk, or do I have to carry him?
Oh, he could walk, but it would be...
Not very
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, he could walk. It would be like limping.
Okay, so would it impede my movement?
Yes.
Okay, so I will use so I'm assuming half movement.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll use my action of movement to go down, to move to like here with him.
Okay.
And then I'll use another healing word, and I'll cast it on esslof.
I don't
Nice.
need healing word, believe me. I'm at
Take the healing word. Just take
let
it.
me look. I'm at 32 out of 47.
Just take the healing. Just take
Okay, I'll take the healing.
it. I'm injured, but don't heal me.
Yeah, I mean, like
Everyone-
she would heal him.
Other people needed more though.
You get 5 points.
Everybody buff essloff.
You gain 5 points.
Oh damn. I'm back up to 37. Not 38. He is really
Also,
not-
I put in our Discord the combat inspiration because you can do a reward with it.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh,
And that is my turn.
okay. 2019, Morkant, what are you doing? Over there in that
So
in that
this
messy
one's
fray.
Dead, right? Scorpion 3.
There
Scorpion
are-
3's dead, right?
Yes, the two that are still there are 4 and 6, and 5 and 2, right?
And so I'll step over its dead body, and since Tabonese is no longer in the area, I'm going to go ahead and angle so I can hit both of them with a thunder wave.
Okay. Thunder, thunder, thunder wave.
Or I'm assuming she's flying high enough away, right? Or
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Is she just above?
Yeah, she's up. She's above, and she's pulling out a pretty nasty bow from off her back.
It's 5 damage, and push them 10 feet away.
One of them drops from and the other one is still injured and still fighting, but pushed away.
Morkant is kicking ass today.
I know. I'm not used to seeing you out in the fray like this. You're usually trying to talk your way out of doing this.
Yeah,
I like it though.
but Tempest clerics, low-level Tempest clerics are ridiculous.
Yep, they can bring the thunder. 19, 8. Oh no, there's 20. Cardwell comes up and attacks one of the spined devils and hits.
The one that got knocked away.
Yep, and he does 12 points to it. And that one drops actually.
Everything is dead. Not really.
Three. So Vesrin.
She within 60 feet of me if I move up to the entrance again. Can I see her?
Talvamise?
Yeah. Is she within 60
Shh.
feet within the air from me?
No.
If I move further out, would she be?
No. She's higher up than your range, than a 60-foot range. Yep.
Okay. That was when you used mine silver on her. Let me see here. I also have. All right. She wants to be that kind of bitch. I'm going to use. How high is she? 90, 120?
She is.
She flew up. I'm assuming she's like 60 or
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, she had done a couple of actions and then she flew. She's 90. She's not fully 90 because she flew kind of up the hill a little bit on her way over, and she's probably a good 70 or 80 feet up. She's not far. She's not far out of your range.
I'm going to cast Magic Missile
Okay.
at second level, which I believe does not give me an extra
Missile, yep.
2, 3, 4. There we go. All right. Not bad. I got a 4, a 3, 3, and a 2. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points for that magic missile.
Wow, that was a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, magic missile coming through.
And I tell it, and I just look at her like, come on, bitch. Like, come on down. Let's play.
13, 9, 5. The other two fly up with her. And as they're going, they throw spines down at you, Vesrin.
16 AC.
Well, yep, they both miss. You see spines hit the rocks around you and they fall off. And you see her start to cast something, and it goes dark in the area around the entrance to where the rest of the people, the rest of your group are. You know that it's a darkness spell.
Did she
Not a
cast
big
it
deal.
around her or around the entrance?
No, around the entrance. The archers fire. Okay, they're not going to fire into the dark. Actually, the only people they have to fire at they can really see are Caradwin and her ward and Eldrin.
They'd go after their own leader?
They'd go after Caradwin, but ooh, Caradwin gets hit once so far. The two of them can't get there.
She saved him, and they would still go after her. Interesting. Risk him.
What's your AC, Caradwin?
It's just 12.
Oh yeah. So you take 8 points of damage from 2 arrows that hit. They're just regular arrows, though.
Okay.
Nothing's particularly special. No poison or anything.
What about Eldrin?
And then from above, Tabonese fires an arrow, and Caradwin, how are you carrying Eldrin?
How lucid is he?
He's kind of like drugged out, but he's not. He's able to move. He's just. He's stumbling around. Yes.
Kind of should just be like Princess carrying him.
Okay. So you feel the pressure of something strike him, and he takes damage, and he goes unconscious. And you feel his weight drop again. All right.
So did he fall unconscious again?
Yes. He took
How
enough.
many points do you declare the dying?
You're actually in the darkness. When we get down to 20, Caradwin and him are not in the darkness, but around that entrance, there's a darkness. Hold on, that envelops this area. So you're in there.
Oh, okay. It's that area. Sorry, you said it's this area?
Yes. 19. So, Morkant, what are you doing? You're in the darkness all of a sudden.
You're missing Caradwin.
No, she's not in it. That's why
She's not in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm over.
Only what's in the
Oh,
darkness.
actually, you're right. I'm sorry. Caradwin, what are you doing? I forgot.
Oh, is it my turn? Oh.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I have another healing word. Just be like, don't you die on me now. So here's my little triangle. Here we go.
Hey, he gets another 5 points back.
Actually,
Okay.
6.
Okay.
6 points back. And then she's just gonna we're just gonna walk into the darkness. She'll just walk in there because then at least we can't be hit by arrows very well.
That's true. At least not by the people's arrows.
And I think she'll just call out for Vesred. Vesred, where are you? Help me, baby. Where? And I guess we'll just have her scoot in like a little bit more. That's about all she'll do.
Okay. Then we're at 19. Morcant, what are you doing?
So I'm in darkness.
You are.
I guess I'll just call out, like, this is ridiculous. If we work together, we can talk about this and fix what's happened so far. And then just, thaumaturgy to make my voice big so I know she hears me, and that's what I'll do.
Eslov.
Okay, so she's in the air right now.
Yes.
Is she close enough for me to just roll my axe at her?
No.
Darkness.
You're in darkness.
I
Yes.
am too?
Yep.
Yeah, the circle
We all
around
are
is the
now.
darkness.
Oh, I see.
So if you're gonna fight, try and leave the darkness.
I'll move outside the darkness. I don't think there's anything I can do, though. I can't see anyone.
You have your breath weapon.
You want me to take it?
Wild.
Let me just blow it into the darkness.
Well, can you
Not
aim
in the
your breath
darkness,
weapon
she's
at
hiding.
her?
I don't think he'll be able to reach it with it. 'Cause she's like,
No, it's only like 15 feet
Yeah.
long.
Give me javelins.
I do have javelins. How far away is she?
She's 70 feet up. About.
Well, I'd be able to throw, but I'd have disadvantage.
Something.
You did better than my turn.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother rolling a second time because it's already too low to do anything. Well, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so it's a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 16, but I could roll an inspiration. Does a 16 hit, Scott?
You have to roll the inspiration before
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's a dirty 20.
A 16 doesn't hit.
no, I think did you use an inspiration?
Oh, you used it. Okay. Yeah.
Dirty
A
20.
A 20 would a 20 will hit.
That's 8 damage.
Okay. And Slov. Vesrin.
I would like to try to move out this way.
You can feel your way around. Yeah, you won't move. Yeah, you can kind of feel your way around. You won't be able to move at full speed.
Actually, as I'm doing it, I will call to Gwen to know, so she, like when I'm at the entrance, so she know to kind of walk towards that way. You know, like
Okay.
'cause she's like, because she was telling Vesper, "Where are you?" I'm over here, Twit. And then
So
I
you're
move out.
stay. Okay, so you're.
No, I'm saying that to her, and then I move. And then as I come out, I'm going to cast it again at her, another magic missile, which will be my last of my second level spells. After this,
Okay.
it'll be pretty much useless spells.
Okay.
Cantrips.
The only cantrip I have is Firebolt and Mind Silver. Firebolt would reach her, but Mind Silver only reaches 60 feet. Or Sliver, sorry. So, Yeah, and Firebolt, I don't know. I'm assuming she's either immune to it or takes. I mean, I can do it, but I think she'll probably take half damage from it. So, as a missile.
All I know is the darkness seems to be the safest place to be right now.
I mean, I don't think I used all my movement, so after I do that, I might step back into the darkness. Wow. All right. I don't know if you can see all these, but there you go.
I can't.
Nice.
Well, 3, 3, 3, and 4. So
Nice.
that's 5, 6,
Almost
7, 8,
13.
9. Yeah. What was that?
13.
What's max damage?
Well, no, but you gotta add +1 for each. So that's another
17.
4. Yeah, 17 points. These dice are nice. So 17 points with my last set of magic missiles. As I cast it, and you see 4 golden bolts, boom, 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 striking her one after another.
And they do. And she is still aiming.
Then I will step back into the darkness. If I see her still aiming, I step back into the darkness.
No, she's not aiming at you.
I don't. She might.
And
Change your mind.
and she can actually see you in that darkness.
Well, Bezer doesn't know that.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. Right. 13, 29, down to 1. And Esslof, an arrow comes down to you and hits the snow near you. Doesn't hit you. And then
I look in the direction
the
where
individuals
laugh.
from the sky. Then from out further in the snow, some arrows come in also. What's your AC right now?
16 is AC.
Mine?
Yes.
12,
You're the
16.
only. So 2 arrows hit you also, for a total of 8 points from the people that are out in the distance in the snow. The 2 other spined devils swoop down at you, Esslof, and as they do, they throw these spines from their tails at you, but they don't come close enough to engage in hand-to-hand combat. One hits with a natural 20. It's just a spine, though. It does 6 points of damage, and it catches on fire and does 6 more points of damage when it hits. And you hear like this hideous, almost like a laugh but not a laugh as the spine hits. Back to 24. Another arrow comes down. This time at the Grim. And this Grim gets hit by an arrow. And for the first time, you hear the wail of something you'd not heard that sounds horrifying. And the Grim leaps off the top and down into the circle. (20) Caradwin.
Heal. Okay, yeah. She'll use her action and movement to bring Eldrin into the edge of the rock.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Morkant.
So hearing Esloff, I'll head towards him because I heard him get hit, and then I'll head to one of the scorpions here. And I will go ahead and can I reach it, or is it?
They're flying. They're flying and throwing spines down. They're about 30 feet, 20 feet, somewhere in that range.
How far are they from each other?
15 feet.
So I should be able to center a point with a 10-foot radius to hit both of them.
Yes, you'd hit Eslov also.
I can't do it high enough.
Oh, you could, yeah.
If I can maneuver that, I will go ahead and go for shatter.
You know what? I'll give you a dex check. If you make it on against a 14, I'll say they're high enough that they both would be out. If they're not, you don't know whether you would get Eslov.
I think I'm probably gonna hit Essloff.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll just take full damage.
You might survive. It's only a DC 14.
DC 14 what?
Constitution.
Oh. Yeah, I pass that.
And then so it's half of 12 for you. And 12 is what I rolled, Scott.
Yeah. Okay. And they take the full thing. 16. I'm gonna give them.
I will get prone.
I'm gonna make them make dex saves too to see if they can stay in the air when they get hit with that, because it makes sense that they would be blasted from the air. One of them falls, like its wings fold down, and the one that is nearest you, it falls from the sky and is on the ground.
Does it take fall damage?
No, it kind of glides down injured. No, it doesn't take fall damage.
Okay, so it's near me. Then I don't sit down prone if one's near me.
8. Eslov. Can't hear you.
I'm muted.
Oh.
I'm an idiot. Are they within striking distance?
One of them is, now that it's been knocked out of the sky.
Can I hit that one?
Yep, it's right in front of Morkant, between you and Morkant.
Will 15 hit?
A 15 will hit.
I just love the image in my head of like the big shatter as the thing comes crashing down as Locke comes up with his axe.
Yep, me too. I'm hoping he does a lot of damage, so it's impressive.
Yeah, me too.
12.
12. And it stays down.
Is it dead?
It is.
I'll bury the axe in its stinger. Well,
I didn't nod to Esloff.
Eslov. Vesrin.
Vezrin's breathing heavy. He's exhausted all of his normal arcane magic. She's not any further down, right? She's still about 70 feet in the air.
Yeah, she's aiming a bow.
So then, I mean, all I got is firebolt. So I will see that it'll do anything to her. I mean, maybe it'll do half. But let me see if I can hit her. 18 plus 6, so I'm pretty sure that hits.
It hits.
I do 6 points.
And the fire kind of wraps around her, and she doesn't seem to move too much from it.
Well, I'm spent. And then I will fight you again in 10, 15, 20, 25 right there. The fight
And-
you got,
And Carrad, when you hear a voice say, what's its name?
She'll look at like,
You're in the dark.
yeah, she just went into the dark and found the edge of the entrance to the rock and then just slumped against the wall. When she hears Eldrin, she'll sort of sigh.
do I hear this since I ran back in? I'm just curious. I don't know if I hear the conversation.
You're right next to them, and they don't know it because it's all dark.
It's Towson. Your name's Towson.
Thank you. And his weight just becomes just mass in your arms.
Eldrin. She'll shake him and
He's just wait.
Win? What's going on?
she'll look up at Bezran and you see.
We can't even see.
Nope.
We're
All darkness.
Bezran? I think he's dead.
you don't hear Besson say anything.
Is it still my turn?
Yes.
Just in her like haze of franticness, she'll put him on the ground and just like put another healing word into him. No, you can't be dead. I was supposed to. We were supposed to. You can't die now. So he's just like close.
He doesn't make any move. His weight doesn't come back.
If I'm able to, I will yell out for more con.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back down to the bottom of the order, and an arrow flies down to hit Essloff. What's your AC right now, Essloff? 16.
It's 16 for however long Field of Faith lasts. I think it's
Yeah.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 10 minutes. But nothing's attacking me, so I don't have to worry about breaking that concentration.
The arrow hits, and you take 8 points of damage from the arrow, and then suddenly there's this burning in your flesh that does another 8 points of damage.
I'm at 14.
And we're back up to 20. We're at 24, and she will fire again. And she will hit again, actually. You take 4 points of piercing. And five more points from this burning. And then she starts looking for the Grim again. 20, Caradwin.
I literally think she would just spend this entire turn trying to bring Eldred back.
Okay. That makes sense. 19.
How you looking there, Ezloff? You looking okay?
He's bloody. Like
He's got these two nasty arrows sticking out of him.
But he's not paying attention. He's also.
I'm just wondering what I see. I'm really wishing I was a better cleric right now.
You just broke
All I have is healing word. the worst spell. Why didn't I take healing touch? What is wrong with me? How is the other that flying demon looking? Is he looking pretty hurt?
Yeah, he's hurt. He's he's not dead, but he's hurt.
All right. Oh, I can do that. I can use cantrip. Toll the dead.
Okay.
Yeah, 60 feet. Then if I could find my D12. 7.
Seven points of necrotic. Is it? It's not immune to
yes.
necrotic or anything, right? Oh.
And then
It falls
my
from
bonus action-
it falls from the sky.
My bonus action, I will cast Healing Word on Essloff.
Okay.
That's 2. Oh no, plus my modifier. So that is 8 health Essloff. And then I'll look up at her and be like, "Do you really want to keep doing this, or can we just talk now?"
And she's pulling another arrow. Vesrin.
Essloff.
Essloff.
Essloff first.
Oh, Eslof, sorry.
Has she gotten any closer, or is she still being a little bitch up there?
She's being a little bitch and hovering up there and just trying to pick off people now.
Oh my god. I guess I'll throw it up. How is she looking?
She's got some black blood dripping out in spots. And she's looking at you more than anyone else, and she's kind of staring you down. And then suddenly, when she sees the grim, her eyes change from you to that.
Is there another scorpion that's close to me? Like close to
They're all
me?
dead.
They're all dead.
They're all dead.
Yep.
I guess I'll.
There are just bowmen out there that are.
Well, how far away are the bowmen? Is it these people over here?
They're 60 feet out. 60. They're just on the edge of their range, and they look like they're about to pack up. When they see the last spine devil go down, you can see them starting to put their bows down and move the other direction.
I should chase them.
You could get your bloodlust out 60 feet.
I
kinda
could
like
dash that. I don't think he would go after them though. I think he's too meta tabonese. So he's gonna try and throw a javelin.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is an 18 hit?
An 18 is exactly a hit.
Okay, good. 8 damage.
And
Can I aim at her wing? Is she flying with her wings?
yeah, they're like,
Can I try and hit her in the wing?
nah, you really. Do you have what's the feat? I forgot the feat.
My feet.
Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Why would I have it?
Yeah, it didn't seem like you. I was like, no, that's not you. You're trying to hit. That's what you're trying to do. So okay, so you did your javelin. Vesron, what are you doing?
She needs to get the fuck down from there.
I know that my brother has always been a good swordsman and a bowman. I mean, because all of us elves are usually wood elves.
Yep.
Does he happen to have did I happen to see him with a bow and arrow on him?
He does. Yep. He did.
Kind of reach around in the dark and grab them off of him if I can. I don't know if I can use that as like an extra bonus action.
It would be hard to take all that off of him while Caradwin is holding him.
I just want to grab the bow and a few arrows. I don't want to take all of it. I just want to grab the bow and a few arrows.
I don't think you can make Caradwin let go of him right now.
I don't know.
Maybe. You can maybe talk her into it.
When I need his bow and arrows. And I'm trying to pull them and see if she'll stop me, but I'm trying to pull them off so I can take them and aim at them.
She would like let you take her arrows, but she wouldn't let you take him.
No, I'm not trying to take him.
Okay.
I just want his bow and his arrows so I can shoot
Okay.
him.
All right. You take the bow and arrow.
Would that be my action or bonus action?
Bonus. Let you do it as bonus.
Then I will step out, and nobody here that can see me, but with no magic that works on this woman, I will return to my elven heritage, and I will bring that bow, and I will let an arrow fly right towards her.
Does your character know how to use a bow?
Yes, he does.
He's an elf.
Crossbow.
I thought so. Okay.
Yep, light dagger,
All right.
darts, longbows. Yep, there we go. Short bows too. So.
Take a shot.
Fire.
Make me
20, but it's definitely 17.
and
You
that
come on
just
the other
and
side
that
of the
just
darkness?
misses.
Huh? what was that, Brandon?
Did you come out on the other side of the darkness so we didn't see this, or do we just watch you come out with the bow?
Actually, no. You know what? I probably would. I would try to change my position a little bit. And I would step
Okay.
out. Yeah, that's no. The other side, where you guys are at. I would go to where you guys are at. So.
But you wouldn't go where they are because you can't see that they're there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So that would go right here then. That's right.
I don't think you could eat. I think you would use if you wanted to go that far away. I think you would use your whole action to get out.
Yeah.
If you could just step a foot right where you were into the light, and you could do it. So you'd be actually
Back here.
into the Brock.
Yeah. Then that's what I would do. I would step out and fire.
When you step in, make me a perception check.
Natural 20.
The Grim is standing in the center of the circle, with its head pointing in a direction and its hooves just staying solid, and it's back to a small form, and it's not moving. It's rigid. Are you-
I will yell for Dwayne to.
Are you firing?
Yeah, like I said, I fired. You said I missed, right?
Yeah, 17 missed. It barely, but it missed. It flies past her.
And I look at her like, I'm coming.
And back at the bottom, she takes a shot at the Grim. She hits it. It takes damage. And it doesn't move. It stays right where it is. And it looks over at you and everyone, and then it just continues standing with its head pointing a certain spot. And then it starts to walk forward really kind of slowly. And it goes to the wall right over, like over here. And it pushes its horn into a wall. And then it backs away from the wall. 24.
I will yell for the others to back in. Move towards me. Hurry, quickly. Kind of thing.
Okay. And
And I will grab, I can't because I used my bonus dice. I was going to grab Dwayne and tell her, like, get up kind of thing, bring him, whatever. I can't do that. It's too much.
And at 24, Vestrin, you get. Do you have shield up, or no?
I have my it's always up. My one.
Okay, so magic missiles fly out from above and hit your shield.
No, that I don't have shield up. I have the.
Oh,
other one
oh.
that's-
I thought you meant the spell shield.
No. It's the
Okay.
The one that I have is the armor. The mage
Yeah.
armor that I have up. I thought that's what you meant when you were asking. I didn't realize you actually meant shield.
Yeah.
Shield's a reaction, and I'm out
Yep.
spell, so I can react to it.
That's true. You take 7 points of damage from magic missile from above.
I'll grunt. Sure, there's blood running down my face, but I stand tall, like ready to fire again. 7.
Yeah. Now we're back down to 20. Caradwin.
Oh. She would have. Okay, so I figured out what she was gonna do in the morning. So she would have sung when that whole last turn when she spent her whole time this morning. She would have sung the song that they wrote together. And this turn, she's gonna put him on the ground. I want to take his sword. I want to take Eldrid's sword. So
Okay.
she takes Eldrid's sword, and I'm gonna have her run out.
You heard me yell to come in.
I don't care. She's
Okay.
running out. And then so I use my movement to get here, and I see tabonese above us.
Yep.
I am going to take my spear, and this is what I want to do. I want to take my spear and then put a rope on it. And then
Well, that'll take a little time.
Tabonese fishing.
tabonese fishing. That's what I'm gonna go for. Will it consume my action doing that?
Yeah, to tie a rope to it, it'll take an action to do that.
Consume my action to do that.
Okay. And 19, Morkant.
I should have been thinking about what I was going to do if I really had to. I guess I will just hold the dead on her as I tell her that she should just calm down and
Range.
talk about. The range is 60 feet. Can I not reach it?
Yeah, she's a little further than that. Yeah, she's a little, and she's a little further than that.
Is there can I start climbing the rock?
You could.
Like, yeah. So I'm
You
gonna
could.
use full movement to get as far as that as possible so that I can attack the next round.
Okay. So going up the side of the hill by itself, at the ridge of it, gets you up another 5 feet. But getting up onto the edge there, that'll get you up another 10. So yeah, you'd be up high enough at that point. So next turn you'll be able to do it. It takes your time to do all the movement in the darkness.
Okay.
Okay. Esslof.
Who is around?
You see Caradwin near you with a sword. You see Morkant come out of the darkness and start climbing the wall.
Tie in my
I wasn't
spear.
in the darkness. I was already out of it.
And actually, you also see Cardwell had kind of meandered out finally.
Is Jalomir still around?
She's hovering and pulling an arrow out.
Fuck another javelin. Why not? Got nothing else to do.
Okay, throw a javelin. How many javelins do you have?
I have like 5.
Okay.
I didn't write it down.
Okay. It sounds about what would be appropriate for him. Throw.
Yeah, that's a 19.
19 hits. You need an 18 to hit her.
Oh, come on. And damage.
10.
gonna say something. I'm gonna say in Draconic. Home hit. Which in Draconic means come here.
Vesrin, what are you doing? Make me a perception check, Vesrin, while you're in there.
Another one? 14.
Um,
Best,
yeah. Where the thing had put its horn, you can see there's a little glow around a hole in the wall.
I will tell the others to go towards that as I draw another arrow with fire.
Okay.
Actually, and I will, because I know I could have heard Dwyn run, right?
Yeah.
I would tell Eldrid to grab Eldrin's body, and I would tell the rest of them to go over to that hole to start leading.
Okay.
I'm going to fire.
Okay. Fire.
Not bad. Natural 18
That'll hit.
plus my bonuses, so
Yeah, 18 hits.
All right, and that is a 1d8. So it'll only be 1d8 plus. Let's put the bow on me so that way we just already beat it. I can see my actions. There we go. 5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage. As I
Okay. And when she gets hit with the arrow and it sticks in her, and she starts flying higher and away. And as she does, the darkness starts to fade away.
What a coward.
Of course she's a coward. And I will draw another arrow. I mean, obviously I'm not doing it. I will draw another one ready to, if she like flies back down within range. As soon as she's out of range.
Yeah, she's flying. She's flying towards Chiral.
Is the Grim still alive?
Interestingly, when you look back, you see its legs wobbling.
I will call for more cans or Dwyn to come back in here. The Grim needs help.
And the light, the darkness fades away, and you can now see across to each other.
You guys see
And we're out of combat now. You can.
I look injured, but you see me holding a bow and arrow.
Yep. Not a spell left in the air. Oh, yeah.
I ran out of magic, but still got my elven heritage to fall back on.
Yep. I forgot you had that. That was cool.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
No, I was like, what am I gonna do? I was like, wait, can I use a bow? Elves can use bows. And I was like, I can use a bow. Let me see. My brother would be a crack shot. I'm assuming you have one.
Right. And you can see that there's Eldrin's body is lying in the snow, and the Grim, you can see it sort of falter to its knees, and there's a fading in the green glow around that hole in the wall.
We need to go through that hole if we can't save the Grim.
It's a tiny hole, like just big enough for a horn.
Maybe we can try to help it get up the
Can
hole.
What?
I stick my hand into the hole?
You can. And at the back of this little hole area, there's like an area where it's soft.
Can I try to
There's
help the
nothing in
Grim?
there, or just poking on the
Only one arm can go in there, and as you realize that as you push in, the wall starts to rumble a little bit.
slot, I'm going to cast Prayer of Healing. Can I target the Grim with that as well, or no?
You don't know. You've never tried.
I guess I'll try.
Okay.
Is Cardwell still around?
So it's gonna
Yes, he's in the entrance.
He like took a nap during the fight. I don't know what his deal is.
He was in the dark mostly.
He's got lost. So it's 6 people, so it'll take me 10 minutes to cast. $15 health for 6 people. I don't know whose hip is sides.
It helps those around that are not the Grim. The Grim does not get benefit from it. And the wall where you would put your hand in, you see it start to crumble into blocks that start falling off. And the rocks fall to the ground. Oh, let me get rid of all this darkness that we don't need.
I have a thing I wanted to do in a second.
Okay. And you can see that it crumbles right here, reveals a little passage in here, inside the wall.
Secret tunnel.
And the Grim fades away.
Vezrin, I think, with his family would be around his brother.
Yeah.
I'll just be standing outside, breathing heavily.
Peregrine will. Caldwell was the one who hit Eldrin first, right?
Yeah, who actually killed him first.
Yeah. So Peregrine will go over to Caldwell and just like.
He backs away as you come towards him.
I was like, "Did you run from me?"
He doesn't run.
Sword.
He pulls his sword out as he backs up. I don't have a beef with you.
Oh yes, you do. You knew what Eldrin was to me.
If I hear this, I'd like to come out and try to stop Gwen.
And he throws his sword to the side. If you need to strike me down, you must do what you need to do.
Don't.
Just like long, really long, heavy pause, and then she'll she'll walk towards Caldwell, and then she'll just like she'll just put a slice like through his cheek.
He breathes in when it happens.
And then she'll. Now you can remember and live with you.
I'll just be watching.
She'll walk away, muttering, "This isn't the way of Quail. It isn't the way of Quail to kill."
And he picks his
"Gosh,
sword
no,
up.
I want to. And she'll just turn away.
And Vesrin, you see him pick his sword up and sheath it and start to walk away back towards Chiral.
No, Caldwell, you stay here.
He just walks.
Caldwell, you stay here or you will be held for treason. Yes, we need to speak to him and know what he knows. Whether he comes with us or not, I don't care. We need to know what he knows about what's going on inside that castle. He's been closest to Eldrin.
You don't- You don't want to know what's been going on inside that castle. And if I had to do that again, I would. If I had to do what I just did again, I would do it again for her child.
I understand that. That's why I'm not coming at you with weapons. I'm asking you to speak to us to help us so we can stop what she's doing.
Your younger brother has turned the house into something I never thought I'd see it become. That's what's happened.
I'm going to tell him.
And had I known that there was a demon or a devil or whatever that was in our midst, I would have walked away from Cairo a long time ago.
So you would walk away from your duty to protect my family and this kingdom because of the fiend.
I would walk away knowing now that your family is lost.
Our family is not lost. I'm here. My sister Rotha is here. Eldrid is here. Liana is here. And none of them are corrupted by her. You could be protecting them, showing that you still believe that things could be done right. But instead you flee.
You were the first one to flee from your family, you know.
No, I left because me and my sister knew there was something going on. Rotha knew, and the only way we could stop it is this was for me to leave. It's a good thing we did. Now we know what we're dealing with, and now we have a chance to stop it and save our home.
Then we should go back to Cairo and take your home back, shouldn't we?
We need to rest now, and yes, but we need to find a way in. I think Rotha knows of another way in. Perhaps we can use that to gain entrance in there.
And Rotha looks at you. There's not going to be a way in, an easy way in now. Any way that would have been known before, with him there and her soon, those routes will be closed off.
Rotha, you are the eldest. Now, as I say that, I pause, looking at my brother. By right, you are the one who leads the house. How would you have us proceed?
And for the first time, she recognizes what happened, like really sees it. And she falls to him. And she weeps.
Is her eyes back, her vision's back? Or is she just...
No, she sees. She can see again. And she just cries over him.
Rotha, there'll be time for this later. We all want to move.
Will there?
Yes, we must make sure that it is so. We have a duty to our family and to this island to take care of this threat. It's not just him or her or these people out here. It's everybody on this island that we owe this to. We don't quit, we don't walk away. We're the ones they look to for leadership at times like this.
And she gets up and she looks at you. You're right. We need to do better than what we've done.
We
And
needed to do better.
and she reaches over and grabs Caradwin and hugs her. I'm so sorry about what happened here and to you.
Caradwin will sort of like accept the hug. She's still pretty numb to everything going around her, so she just stands there and then
You know your family now. And your son is family.
like she'll sheathe the sword. I know my son will just. She'll go and pick up Eldrin.
Twin,
Best one, I can't talk to you.
you are my sister for now. From now forth, you are my sister. Your pain is my pain. We will find a way to make this right. And after this is done, I will use every bit of power and knowledge I have to help you find your son if that is what you wish.
I didn't say
I will.
anything.
Before she walks away with my brother, I will kiss him on the forehead
Okay.
because he was family. And I will turn back to Ratha and I will say, what do we do?
Honestly, I don't know. We should at least build a pyre and give him a proper send off.
As for the Grim as well, perhaps we do it here.
You don't see the Grim anymore.
No, so as for the Grim itself, like
Oh, yeah. It's not there
send off
anymore.
For both of them. A send off for both of them.
And when you say that, you realize that the wall had crumbled and left something in its something was there.
I'll ritual cast detect magic to make sure there's nothing dangerous like a trap or anything like that.
No.
I'll look
Is this a
inside.
casket?
What? Wait. I
was gonna
didn't. What'd you say,
go in there.
Morgan?
Yeah, I was going to step in there. I don't know
Yeah,
if we
but
can
you
see
got-
that yet.
Well, Morkant's actually over there. He's the one.
Do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the
Yeah.
closest. So, is this the casket?
When you, what do you mean is what the casket?
Look at the owl there.
Oh yeah, if you go in, you see that there is actually not a casket. There's a stone block with the bones of a baby unicorn on it that are aged and blackened from the millennia.
Do I know of any way to put them to rest?
No. A druid might be the right one to answer, maybe. Maybe. But it looks like it has been ritually laid out there. It has probably already been put to rest.
Okay, so I probably would have gone in here to look at it while they were having family issues.
Yeah.
Perhaps we set up camp here.
Do I see anything else, Scott, or do I just see the?
There's on the other side of it, there's stairs that go up into the wall.
I guess I'll start heading up the stairs.
While everyone else is talking, you head up the stairs. When you get to the top of the stairs, it ends, and you're looking up at water that is just floating above you in a hole, and you can see like a pulsing glow in the water. And this is where we'll end.
Is there one other thing I can do before we leave? I want to grab Eldrin's ring and give it to Twin. His family ring, his crest. So
Yeah,
that way
you could
she
do
can
that.
Keep it, and if she wants to give it to her son, if we ever find him, then she can.
Yeah.
She's pretty numb right now.
But-
so she just take it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It was an interesting night all around. My favorite kind of night. Interesting. We had a blast. We will see you next week at 8:30. We hope to see you here for. We're 1 or 2 sessions away from the end of the season, and then we'll start up again in a couple weeks after that. And follow everybody. We're at ZealZaddy, but you can also follow Caradwin as Tiffany. What you want to give your handles, everybody? I don't think we've ever done that at the end.
Mine is pretty much Dungeon Damsels on Twitter and on YouTube and Facebook. I don't really use Instagram.
Yeah, you don't.
Twitter.
My Twitter is at HotWaxMan. The O is actually a 0.
Yeah.
Little joke about how Hideo Kojima tends to name his characters. One called Die Hardman.
Oh, interesting. More can't.
I'm at Twitter. I'm at _dice, but I don't know why anyone in the right mind would follow me.
Fans
Sure, I follow you.
and
I said in their right mind.
investor.
On most things, I'm Mindflayed Mondays, but on Twitter, it's shortened to Mindflayed Mun. That's Mindflayed MON. Would love follows. I love talking to people, and I love just having that nice social outlet there. So please feel free to follow.
We'll see you all next week. Have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
I'd love to stay in chat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Good night, Dylan.